Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to the Greatness of Jaime Lannister stream. Today, we have some very hype news to share with you. But before we do that, I would love to share with you my awesome panel members. 2 men, 3 women, one really weird person, Gemma Stark. But Gemma Stark, she does the little, hey. We are quite hyped today, Gemma.
We are, aren't we? There are no men like Jaime Lannister, only Jaime Lannister. Yeah, I'm really excited to be talking about Jaime, but everyone knows the news. Surely they know the news. I don't need to tell them. I'll leave that one to you. Hi, everybody in the chat.
So that's my beautiful co-host, Gemma Stark, as you know. We have living My Rhapsody, for all of you that don't know. She is also a content creator on YouTube. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here. This is awesome. I missed it. I miss streaming, so it's going to be fun. And it's Jaime today. I mean, oh my God, what better thing. And yeah, so again, thanks for having me.
And you can find the link to her channel in the description of this video. We have JR Rowley from GeekChat1.
Hey, everybody out there in Zora Hype and in the chats. Glad to see you here. Thank you for having me as always, Kyle. Good to see everybody on the panel.
And last but not least, we have Helen Make Mordor, Make Jin Great Again.
Hello. This time I'm not streaming from a dodgy hotel lobby, but I have my alcohol ready. And someone told me this is about Cersei, but I'm apparently in the wrong stream then.
Wow. So unprofessional. So just so everyone knows, big heads up, we got some big announcements today, but if you are enjoying this, you can find the links to all of these awesome people in the description of this video. So today we got some really big news. Nikolai Coster-Waldau has been announced for Con of Thrones 2019. I think it's safe to say, Gemma, that this is the biggest name that's been announced for Con of Thrones yet.
Absolutely. So I mean, we've had some really good names. We've had some amazing characters come to the last ones. Obviously, I've only been to one before, but you've been to both of them. But Jaime Lannister, I nearly swore then because his middle name does start with an F. But Jaime Lannister he's huge. He's huge. I will drool on him if you allow me to get too close. So you might want to pull me back.
Helen made a pretty hilarious mention at GeekChat1 earlier. She's like, if I dress up as Cersei, does that mean? So Helen, I know you're obviously very excited. You're coming to Con of Thrones this year. This will be your first Con of Thrones. So great news for you.
Hell yeah. I just I already bought the dye my hair blonde. And I just need to get a slutty medieval dress and I'm done.
I thought we were gonna save the stream, the demonetization of the stream for later, but it looks like we're already headed down that path. Living My Rhapsody, JR, we'll finish with me and you last because I think we're less interested in Jaime looks wise.
Speak for yourself.
I knew you were gonna say that, but yeah, assumptions. Lamar, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, this is pretty big, right? Jaime,
yeah,
huge for the con.
Oh my gosh, and he's my top 3, I think. Yeah, no, I definitely So when I heard that he's coming over there, I was like, yeah, let's hurry it up because I need to get in line, and I should be actually clicking the thing to get in line. So awesome. And then the whole thing. I mean, you talked about this stream for a while, and we have him. What did you do? How did you do it? Give me the lottery tickets.
You know
the numbers. Come on.
It's crazy. We set up this stream. I can't remember when I set up the stream. I think it was Sunday, and I'm like, okay, because last week when we had the vote, because we had the Patch Face stream on Wednesday. Patch Face and Jaime Lannister were literally like one vote apart for me and Gemma's Patreon in GeekChat1 and the comment section of our last live stream, the Sandor Clegane stream. So we're like, well, we have to kind of do both live streams. So I'm like, okay, let's set up the Jaime stream early. And it just turns out that this morning, and the same day that we have a Jaime Lannister stream, Jaime Lannister gets announced for Con of Thrones. So we're all extremely hype on the panel. One thing, if you haven't got your tickets to Con of Thrones yet, you can get a $5 discount on the special Jaime Lannister passes that they have announced today if you use the code AZOR, A-Z-O-R, for the Hype and Love family. And if we get to 25, I get to give away 2 free tickets. So let's try to make that happen. Cool. But if I totally understand, I think most of the people that we know like bought them the day they went on sale. Anyways, this stream we're going to talk about Jaime Lannister. Got some awesome questions from Patreon. Oh, and we got so we got a super chat and we got a little bit of a shout out, right, Gemma?
Yeah, can I just quickly give a shout out to Janet Powell? She's been an absolutely amazing supporter of my channel for a long time now. She's just wonderful, and this is her first time in a stream, in the chat of a live stream. So welcome, Janet. Everybody give Janet some love in the chat, please. And I'll leave the super chats to you, Kyle.
Hot Turn Fear, Art, I'm afraid I'm invisible. New patron for Kyle. No, I was actually going to make this announcement. Lucy signed up for a $5 Patreon today. Thank you so much for that. Welcome to the Hype Bringers. And I believe we have another donation, or we have Marvin, ladies. Whoa, Marvin, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. What's Jamie got that I don't? I know, Marvin. Like, everybody's.
Pegleg Pete as well.
And Pegleg Pete says, whatever happened to the Kyle Lisi tattoo bet? Well, JR, do you want to fill everyone in on that one?
On that, what was the stipulation for the Kyle Lisi tattoo?
I would that was an ass cracking.
That's right. Yeah. What was the Kyle Lisi one then?
If Shara Dane and Ned Stark is actually equals Jon Snow, right. I said that I would get a tattoo of a kraken on my ass. Yes. I'll tell you what though, I'll up the ante because I think it has minus 1,000% of happening. I'll get a Kyle Lisi tattoo on my other ass cheek. Anyways,
I mean, it's got to be even, right?
Do we get to vote in the size of it? Do we get to vote the size?
You know what I'll do?
Size matters sometimes.
Is right? I'll get it like those Yakuza. I'll get the Kyle Lisi and I'll get the ass cracking and I'll get like the Yakuza style ass tattoo. It'll cost me a fortune, but of course I'm not going to be wrong.
Well, I have a buddy that just opened a shop in Granbury, Texas, so maybe we'll talk. We'll talk to him and we'll get some ass cracking Yakuza love going on.
So before we get into the questions, we have questions from Patreon, GeekChat1, and I'm sure from you, chat, we're going to do a Q&A period. We have a few topics that I want to go over with the panel, and it is Friday, so we're drinking. So cheers to everyone who is having beverages, whether it's coffee, tea, whether it's alcoholic beverages, and I got some snacks. I got some maple bacon chips. I know, so Canadian of me. I know LMR has nachos, but feel free to join us and indulge. And we got another donation, Mama Ogre. I actually have some coins and wish to share some love. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's start off with the first question. I'm going to start off with Gemma Stark. Gemma.
What? Okay.
What am I here?
Is Jaime Lannister great?
Yes. He's awesome.
Why?
You know me, I'm book over show. I love the show, but I'm not getting into that. Jaime Lannister, I think George R. R. Martin said, and I don't know the exact quote, but he said that Jaime Lannister was the most complicated character, the POV character that he had to write. I think Jaime's arc has been the strongest. I think the nuances of his character, the backstory, he is such a complex, soul-torn kind of man, you know. He's got this angel and devil, Cersei and Brienne, on his shoulders, pulling him and tugging him, and the closer to Cersei's general zone he gets, the more her poison influences him, and then he pulls away, and the effect seems to lessen somewhat. And I'm super excited in where he's going, both show and book. I think he's an exceptional character. When you take it back to that first episode, or the first few chapters in the Song of Ice and Fire, to say that he has become somebody who LMR said is top 3, that's an amazing thing to say, that he's come that far, right? And I think most of us, he's my top 3 too.
He's my favorite POV in the books. Interestingly enough, Gemma, when me, George, Angie, Aziz, Lucifer means Lightburger, all went to see George in person. He mentioned that Bran was the hardest to write for. So Jaime being the most complex and Bran being the hardest to write for is really interesting because we have that interesting interaction. And someone actually mentioned to me, which we'll get to later, will Jaime have to mercy kill Bran at the end? That would be coming full circle, sparing the rest of the Stark siblings from that.
Or will he sacrifice himself to save Bran, bringing his arc to completion?
There's going to be something that's really interesting with him and Bran. But we got an insane donation train already. Oh, my goodness. Carol Brown, all hail the chat panel of hype and beauty. Thank you. Can't stay long. But, you know, I had to stir the pot. Kyle gets the tattoo if Jaime survives season 8. Oof. You know what? I'll tell you this. I'll get a Game of Thrones inspired tattoo if Jaime survives season 8, because I've already got a lot of stipulations for ass tattoos already. So thanks, Carol.
That real estate is spoken for.
That
real ass is covered.
My ass is covered. Karen Richmond, US $20. Thank you so much. Just super excited that the bromance has reached. I have a friend who I'd love to tattoo your ass stage. I also love you very much, Karen. You know, actually, Karen sent in an interesting question. Let's talk about that. And she says, how do we think the meeting between Jaime and Lady Stoneheart will go in the books? Because we don't have Lady Stoneheart in the show. So I'm going to throw this one to you, LMR. What do you think about that?
Oh, Lady Stoneheart, she's, well, heartless, right? Lady Stoneheart. So I don't think it's going to go well. There's nothing else but revenge, rage, and go on and on and on. So if they meet, I don't see how he's going to survive. And I want him to survive, so they better not meet, damn it. Damn.
I think that it's certainly a possibility that they meet, JR. I mean, Brienne is going to bring... I mean, like, do you think that Lady Stoneheart would kill Jaime? I don't know.
Yeah, I see her as killing him, but I don't think that's going to happen, first of all, because I don't want him dying just because some crazy heartless lady wants her revenge. That would be too quick of a death and kind of meaningless, I think.
So Brienne might intervene, maybe, because
Oh yeah, if there's a meeting, it has to be, something has to happen, somebody has to save him, or he has to get out of it somehow, because that would be just a huge waste. That would be like, it wouldn't be like George. So I don't see her killing him. They may meet, but the meeting, I don't think is going to be, the final meeting.
We've lost Helen. Hopefully we'll get her back. JR, then Gemma, and then we'll go into our next question. JR, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that Lady Stoneheart is going to have a huge impact on Jaime Lannister?
In the books, that meeting's gonna have to happen. I mean, it's part of Brienne's, because I mean, Brienne calls for the sword, or at least we assume she calls for the sword right at the end. I mean, and basically that, I mean, that's your slam cut, like end of book, like do not pass go moment, like, and that's where we're left with, right? So that meeting is gonna have to happen one way or another. Now, what happens in that meeting might be really intriguing, and by might be, I mean, of course, it's going to be fucking amazing. So I can't wait to see what happens with that, because something dramatic is going to happen, and maybe this is the point where we get the kind of show story of them going on the save the girls still adventure, and maybe she'll allow for that for some reason.
Because Gemma, do you think? I mean, Jaime has been really honest with Brienne. For Brienne to be dishonest with Jaime and bring him, and like, you know what I mean? There's that argument too. It's like, would Brienne really betray Jaime because of Jaime saving Brienne's life and Brienne thinking that Jaime is honorable?
There could be a situation where she returns the favor, and that could be a full circular kind of situation. But I mean, I don't really have too much to add. LMR really summed that up beautifully. But and I've said this in several videos before, and I know this isn't going to be a very popular idea, but I can't see both Jaime and Brienne surviving an encounter with Lady Stoneheart. I think one of them's coming out of that, and I couldn't tell you which one. Probably Jaime.
There is one other alternative, and what if Brienne has to Jaime Catelyn?
Okay, right. And then she starts to gain this new understanding of the position Jaime was in, blah, blah,
Correct.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, there's a lot of judgment over there. There's a lot of like, oh, you shouldn't, this and that. Like, really? You don't even know what you would do. You think you know what you would do, but until you have to do it, you have no fucking clue. You don't know what you're gonna do.
Absolutely.
Even if you've done it before, you may do it differently next time. So stop judging them.
And it's always cute to assume that you'll know what you're gonna do in that moment. And I can assure you, you never know what you're capable of in that moment.
Yeah.
Helen will be back in a second, but Karen, to follow up, she's got a reply for us to her question. Let me scroll up here. You guys are hype in chat, by the way. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm hoping Jaime talks his way out of it by telling Stoneheart the truth in that arrogant Jaime Lannister style. Now, it's going to be interesting because I think he's going to have to recognize that Catelyn is not Catelyn anymore. So that's going to be a really difficult situation to navigate. It's really going to be interesting, and certainly in the show, I think that we finally see the fracturing of Jaime from Cersei, and I think we all know that Jaime is better as a person when he's not always
far away from her.
Yeah. Which actually brings us to our next question. Let me go to the outline here. Book versus show. What do we think about that? Is Jaime going to still die? I personally am of the belief that he's going to die doing something heroic, or at least redeeming himself, having changing the words in the White Book to slightly favor what it says. However, there's also an argument to be made that he does something again to because he cares about the good of the people. He doesn't do it for the fame. He doesn't get the exact ending that he wants. Helen, I know we've spoken about this. Jaime Lannister's ending, do you think it's going to be more heroic in nature? Is he going to redeem himself? What do you think?
Sorry, I'm still setting up. So, okay, did you ask, was my name mentioned?
Say that again?
Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
sorry.
No, we can hear you just fine.
No, I was just saying,
yeah,
there's been a question that's been asked by chat, Patreon, and GeekChat1 by several different people. Does Jaime, I know you're not as into the books as the rest of the panel, but does Jaime end up surviving the story? Like, does he, like, I personally can't see an outcome where that happens. I think that's going to be really difficult. I think there's like a 1% chance he survives. But what do you think about that? Is there a possibility that he somehow makes it out of the story? Andrew Burnett wants to ask this question.
Okay, so first of all, because I couldn't answer the first question, you dropped to some super chat. So why do I love Jaime? I love Jaime because I thought, like, in minute 5 of that series, he pushed that little nice guy out of the window, and I was like, okay, dude is not redeemable. But then in, like, I don't know, season 3, 4, whenever that his capturing happened, he changed so much. And this is to answer your question now, and this is why I love Jaime, because I thought not redeemable, he's gone, he's the baddie, but now I actually like Jaime, and I don't want him to die, but I don't think he's Azor Ahai. I don't think he will live, because I think, unfortunately, Cersei won't live, and I think they'll find their end together, books and show. That's my opinion.
Yeah, the Romeo and Juliet type of...
Yeah, they came into this world together. They leave this world together.
So maybe Cersei leaves first, and Jaime does something. He gets mortally wounded by Cersei. Seems to be the popular opinion that's being floated out there. Before we
I still think he'll kill her.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, Arya Stark is also a consideration. There's some pretty awesome theories about that, but I'm in agreement on that one with you, Helen. Before we get to the rest of the panel, we got a couple of donations, and JR wants to do a shout out. Anime Lover says, cheers. Y'all looking great tonight. Thanks. I am looking quite fantastic tonight. And we also have Marvin Martin. We'll show Tyrion get Jaime's baby if it survives. We'll get to that in just a moment. JR, you want to give a shout out?
Yeah, to Anime Lover. Thank you, Nicole, for finding an Easter egg that isn't released yet, and the fact that there is a GeekChat1 Patreon that is not complete. So I appreciate you finding that Easter egg and subscribing for GeekChat1 Patreon, which is nowhere near complete.
Don't worry, everyone. I know you've been messaging me about it. I've been bugging JR. He's going to have it up. I promise you. Another donation. You guys are crazy tonight. I was trying to be like Ricky Bobby.
They want us to get drunk, I think. I don't know. Are you trying to get us drunk?
Actually, Channel, I'm going to mix another drink here quick, and let's take a sip.
Yeah. We're ready. It's Friday.
I've been drinking for like 5 hours.
What's everybody's drink of choice, by the way? I'm drinking a whiskey sour, or I'm drinking whiskey sours tonight.
Oh, I'm ready with my regular stuff, which is...
I ran out of sour,
Corona.
but I got some whiskey. Corona.
And my
Gemma's got coffee!
I've got coffee.
What is that?
It's a lot of coffee. I have been awake until 4 a.m. every day this week.
I can attest to it.
It's true. I've been messaging. JR messages me and goes, "Are you still awake?" And I go, "Of course I'm still awake. It's only 3 a.m."
Turbo says, "Gemma, your blood alcohol content is too low to continue." Wow. Terry T says, "For the Lannister hype." Actually, I was having a coffee out of this mug this morning. Hear me roar. Funny enough. To Terry T and the rest of the chat, the hype and love community, GeekChat1, everyone, cheers to you. Let's have a sip.
Cilantro.
Whoo! All right. So rest of the panel, Gemma's going to take over while I fix myself another whiskey sour. Gemma, let's monitor.
I'm going to take over. Okay, I do have a question. I've got a question. I'm good. I can do this. I've got this. One of the questions people keep asking about season 8 is, and I'm sure someone of Kyle's Patreons would have asked this because I know it's a very popular question. No, what people ask about predictions for season 8 is who's your favorite reunion going to be? And for me, I'm really, people say, oh, Jon and Arya, blah, blah, blah. I really want to see what happens when Jaime and Bran meet up again. I think that's just going to be one hell of a fascinating and possibly awkward conversation. How do we think that one's going to go down? I'll start with JR.
It is going to be, I honestly think because of what Bran has become, that he is going to be the one to tell everybody basically to shut up and that we need a commanding general like Jaime Lannister here. And this is kind of show only. Yeah. In the books, I think it's going to be quite a bit different. But in the show, I really think that Bran's going to be the one to absolve him of his original sin. Well, I guess it's not his real original sin. I guess it's its second. It's the second sin in the tower. But I cannot tell you how excited I am that Nikolai Coster-Waldau is going to be at Con of Thrones. That is going to be absolutely fantastic. I think it's going to have way more of an impact than Bran did at the end of season 1.
Oh, I mean the beginning.
Can I just address the Prince That Wasn't Promised super chat question? Because this is something I came up with when I was doing my etymology of the names of the Game of Thrones characters. And then we'll throw that question back to everyone. But the Prince That Wasn't Promised has pointed out Jaime is derived, the name, the etymology of the name is derived from Jacob, which means heel or supplanter, as in the heel that was being held onto by Jaime was holding on to Cersei's heel. There's a book theory. Obviously, Jaime's lost his hand. During her walk of shame, Cersei sustains an injury to her foot. And there's a book theory that she's going to end up having her foot amputated because it gets infected, which means the hand and the foot that connected Jaime and Cersei together when they were born will both be severed. But even without the loss of Cersei's foot, the connection's already been severed because Jaime's hand's gone. And also, I think that's it's the Achilles heel kind of connections as well.
In the show, when we have the Jon Snow and Jaime handshaking scene, he says, "Have you swung a sword yet?" To Jon, he ends up losing the same hand. And Jon ends up killing. Sam kills a White Walker, but it's possible that Jon ends up swinging the most important sword against the Night King later on in history. Something that's kind of pretty interesting, I find. That's the layer of A Song of Ice and Fire in Game of Thrones. It will just get you.
But I did ask while you were away, Kyle, I did ask a question and JR's had the opportunity to answer it. So it's only fair that we give Helen and LMR a chance. LMR, do you want to go on the Bran and Jaime reunion? How awkward is that going to be?
Yeah, definitely. With well, Jaime feels, I'm sure, regret and no, I mean not regret. He feels like bad about it because he doesn't regret saving their whatever they had, but he wants some. I think like everybody, he would want closure. He doesn't just want it to be like unspoken, unsaid. I think words have to be said somehow. But the problem is that Bran has nothing to say. He's not Bran anymore. Before it would be like, what the frick? What did you do? Why did you do this to me? He would be like, in your face. And now he's like, dude, I'm cool without even words. I wonder if he will even speak to him.
Bran will be like, yo, you awakened my third eye, bro. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, it doesn't matter. I can see him speaking in that strange voice, just like, like it's nothing, like emo voice. I'm like,
I'm not Bran anymore. You don't need to worry about it.
Bran is dead. Thank you.
So basically, Bran is now just so woke that he won't care anymore. Is that what you're saying?
I love it when Gemma uses like modern terms for shit.
He definitely is woke, I guess.
He's woke.
Yeah, he is.
Woke? Oh my God, no, we didn't.
Yes, we did, I think. Let's drink to that to forget.
Let's drink to that for sure. Helen, one of the more interesting interactions I think we're going to get is between Jaime and Bran in season 8. What do you think is going to go on there? Because Jaime returning to the North is not necessarily going to be received nicely. The Lannisters aren't liked in the North. So what do you think is going to happen there?
Well, the question is, I think if Tyrion will be there, his reception will be way warmer because, and as well, Jon knows him now from the meeting in the pit. So, what is happening?
I'm sorry, Connie in the chat just wrote, I remember you were begging the queen. She looked so lovely. Yeah, I'm dying. Sorry.
Oh my God.
That is fantastic.
This chat has officially went off the rail. Continue, Helen.
No, yeah, I wanted to say actually something similar, like Bran, like he, I saw you and your sister, you were beautiful together or some shit like that.
You would think of this effed up humor. My God. What planet are you from?
I mean, if you had a chance, what else would you? I mean, not you, but like whoever. What else would you watch if you had like I don't know what I would watch.
Wow.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
He's a little boy. How old is he? Obviously, he watches the porn channel in his
beard. So I guess I don't know what he is, but he didn't get any facial anything after coming from over there. So maybe he's too young for that. Bad, Bran. Don't do that.
I can't believe you. Did you just say Bran's watching the porn channel in his mind? You're right.
He's tapped into the weirwood, man.
What have you done with 15? Obviously, he'll do that.
I mean, I was fapping when I was 15, but I don't need to tell her.
And he has even 3 eyes.
You literally just did.
So he can watch more channels, tune into more people's personal life. He has 3 eyes.
How did he digress into tree porn?
Yeah, this is like the Weirwood Network. I'm not sure Bran's looking at porn. Anyways. Somebody said hashtag weird porn. Oh my God, I swear to God.
Oh man, we got another thing. Oh, it's a tale.
Terry Keith has free access. This is really getting out of line. But seriously though, it's gonna be interesting because when is Jaime Lannister gonna arrive to Winterfell? Is the question. Is he going to be there in the first episode? We actually got the episode lengths the other day. I'm not sure if those are accurate or not. We don't know. Apparently the first 2 episodes are 60 minutes long, with the rest of the season, the 4 episodes being 80 minutes long. I think they're going to be longer personally. But I don't know. Gemma and then JR, you both wanted to speak on this, so go ahead.
I've got an idea about how far Jaime might get, and I'm probably way off base here. This is just one of the many examples of me completely overthinking things. But can you remember that original teaser trailer we got with the ice coming down the map at Dragonstone and the fire met in the middle? I framed every frame of that trailer, and then I got my maps of ice and fire out and I spread them across my living room floor, because the lion that burns up in that trailer is not at King's Landing. The lion that burns up at that trailer is at the neck. And so my theory, the consideration that I had at that moment is, obviously the assumption is, oh, the lion represents Cersei, so it must be King's Landing, but it's not. So that could be as far as Jaime gets. We're anticipating him getting to Winterfell, getting to the north. I mean, if they adhered to the vast distances of Westeros in any way, shape, or form ever, then Jaime could potentially only get as far as the neck. And who's in the neck that's super exciting right now?
Helen Reed.
Exactly. So that could be Mira could come back. Like I said, I'm probably way off base and I'm just overthinking things, but that lion was not at King's Landing, so perhaps Jaime will meet his end by fire in the neck.
By the way, the teaser trailer with the feather and all of that, I know we did a breakdown. It was me, JR, Aziz, and
LML, not to be confused with the lovely LMR. Not that David isn't lovely as well, but
they are both fabulous. But it actually means nothing. It's not a friggin' scene in the season. It was just a hype trailer like the other ones we got.
It's promo footage. We said that in the stream.
Anyways,
Tubbs is just making up drinking rules here. Apparently, because I said Howland Reed, we now have to have a shot. I'm not sure when
is that a rule now?
Established.
Is that a thing?
Well, there's already a lot of drinking rules. Okay,
but like,
you know how
tequila.
smashed. You know,
like
smashed
tequila
and Jared got on the last one. We don't need that to happen again. I was singing.
He's just said hot pie. That calls for shots. He's just making up rules now. He's just
okay. I'll tell you what. We got 2 new patrons today, so I'll take 2 sips for that.
I got one. I'll take one for that.
Okay, we've had like 10 donations, which is insane. So
do I have to switch to tequilas for shorts?
That's LMR's drink of choice.
Yeah. Well, Helen certainly has plenty of alcohol available. Helen, show everybody your alcohol station.
By the way, while we're all here, I think this is something that we can all get behind. I want to get serious here for a sec before we start to have some more fun. There haven't been as many videos on the channel as there has been previously. A friend of mine, I just lost a close friend of mine to bone cancer. Her name was Joni. She was one of the best people I knew. She passed away on Monday, so that happened, and then there was a death in my family. So, anyways, I just wanted to say, fuck cancer so much. I was so saddened to hear this news about my friend, and that's something that I've been kind of thinking about. You know, I mean, obviously, I can't do anything about it other than support her family and stuff like that. But I know, LMR, you're a friend of Bridge 4, who's huge on that. Yeah. And I think we all agree on this, and everybody in the chat will agree on this. And I know I'm getting kind of bringing down the mood. We'll get back in the mood in a second, but I wanted to shout out Joni. You inspired the fuck out of me. So thank you so much for being such a good friend. And cheers to Joni. I want to cheers to Joni. She was an amazing person. So cheers to that, everyone. Let's drink.
And with that, it's just every time I hear stories like that, it just reminds me to live life to the fullest. And just basically, we get this gift and we are here, we're breathing. And if somebody goes away, somebody that we love goes away, all we can do for them at this moment is live the life, just be happy.
Yeah.
So,
and one of her last things that she got to do was fly in a bush plane over, like it was amazing. So she got to do some amazing things, but still, obviously, shout outs to Joni. We grew up in the same punk rock scene here in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. She was a punk rock girl, and she was mad, beautiful, and funny, and awesome. And yeah. But anyways, we're gonna lift our spirits now. into positivity, because that's what Joni represented with every breath that she had in her life. We're gonna get back to having some fun. And we got 2 more donations. Jacqueline Ziegler, Jaime swears to himself, swears to protect the Stark Girls. We're going to actually talk about that a little bit. And Leah Nickley also made a donation, $20. She's sending something in the mail for an unboxing, I believe, that we will have next week. She's a Canadian, so shout outs to you, Leah. Okay, Stark Girls. Let's get back to this. The Stark Girls have progressed quite into women. They have their own we're talking show here because we got a little bit more about their stories. But obviously, if Jaime gets to Winterfell and Sansa's there and Arya is there, Arya was right there, and she Frey pied the Frey pie family, and she got to see what Jaime was talking about the Freys, and she saw that Jaime wasn't necessarily aligned with everything that Walder Frey was saying, Gemma. So that's really interesting. When Jaime gets to Winterfell, will that be a thing that is, well, like maybe what, like 2/3 of the Starks are like, you know what, we gotta listen to him. Will that be a thing, or will she, like, will it not really necessarily be impactful?
I think.
Good God Almighty, Helen.
All right, Peter, wow. Everyone in the chat. Ears.
Sorry, what was the question? Okay, no, I've got it. I'm there. I think Arya will be fairly indifferent to Jaime. He was never on her list. I think by proxy, his relationship with Cersei will be the only issue. Obviously, she's gunning for Cersei, but if she discovers that Jaime has left Cersei because she's a bitch, I think Arya will be on board with that. I think Sansa will be extremely wary, though, and I think she will be wise to be so. And I can't see any reason why Jon would just welcome Jaime with open arms. They've had very little interaction, but it wasn't necessarily. He was. It wasn't a pleasant interaction, was it? Like you said, Tyrion is very necessary in this scenario because he is the glue that's going to bring all of these characters together, like he was in the Dragon Pit in season 7. This is his role now, it seems to be.
Jon and Tyrion respect each other a lot. And JR, yeah, go ahead, man.
And so while I totally appreciate Gemma's theory on what happens to Jaime in the neck, and I'm not discounting it, I think it is possible, but I think that he will make it to Winterfell, and that the retreat back could mean trouble for him in the neck. Like, I think something big is going to happen in the neck, and it's going to happen to a Lannister. Which one it is up to debate. And I actually kind of see Jaime maybe sacrificing himself to complete his arc by taking the hit for Bran.
Though not necessarily the Stark Girls, which had, we talked about this with Sandor last week, actually.
Right.
Which is kind of interesting because I think that Jaime can have like Jaime, I see Jaime more of as a commander, but that's just my opinion.
And that's what I said earlier when you were mixing a drink, was that they need him as a military strategist and as a commander.
LMR. Sorry, JR.
Go ahead. I'm good.
LMR, your thoughts on this? Because we know that Jaime isn't well liked by the North, but him showing up and saying, hey, like, my sister plans to betray you, some people aren't going to believe what he says. So I
think it's not going to be as bad. I mean, we kind of, I don't want to see everything be like, oh yeah, sure, come over here, we're going to be good. Like, I want to see some tension. I mean, this is Game of Thrones. I want to see some punches, some blood. I mean, come on. But we have a couple people there who can vouch for him. We have Bran who be like, yep, he good. Just, yeah. Or we have Arya. He's like, yeah, he's not lying. I can see it in his face. So there are people there who can vouch for him that he is not lying. If he's not lying.
Brienne
too, like, yeah,
I mean, he has a lot of allies in the host that's at Winterfell at this point. Like, he really does. And it's really funny that, like, the ones that would discount him the most or be counter to his cause have pretty much been X'd off the list, haven't they? All the interactions and promises that he's made to people have systematically been crossed off the list. George R.R. Martin's list, not Arya's, but
I think Jaime's largest issue in Winterfell, because we've seen the 15-second, if even, trailer, is going to be somebody who he very recently charged at with a lance.
That might be a bit of a sticking point.
That might be an issue because, you know, it's all very well being friendly with Jon, but they've all, Winterfell is yours, your grace. He's bent the knee. She's the queen as far as Winterfell is concerned. And Jaime pretty much tried to kill her. So awkward. Another
donation before we wrap up this question and get into some more tinfoil-y fun theory stuff.
I didn't make my tinfoil crown. Shit.
You didn't make your tinfoil hat again, man.
Improvise.
And by the way, we got our hype light from my friend Maggie. Thank you for the nice gift. And all of our, and Helen, we have our Sauron, which you can see right there. We have our other Funko Pops and other amazing gifts that you guys have given me. Hoten Fear, which is, I believe, Lucy, who just signed up on Patreon. 2 donations already tonight. Thank you. What? I can't swear here. Okay, then screw cancer. Okay, that's totally acceptable. What's really interesting, though, Helen, is in the vision that Jaime Lannister has, or in the vision that Bran has about Jaime Lannister. We're going to talk about Jaime Lannister's book dream with the panel after this. It's pretty interesting. There's Wildfire, Jaime sitting on the Iron Throne. Would you say that that is foreshadowing, maybe, Helen, that Jaime plays an important part of the endgame? Because Bran is receiving all of this information about the past, and he sees some of the future as well. He obviously sees what happens to the Sept of Baelor and stuff like that. Do you think there's... Because Bran and Jaime are connected, right? Do you think that Jaime, perhaps, maybe this is a hint that Jaime's going to use Wildfire against the White Walkers or something of that nature?
Yeah, no, what I thought, I read the books once like 8 years ago or whatever. So what I think will happen for that vision is Cersei wants to burn the city down, and Jaime again, like the first time with Mad King, is hindering her and is not allowing that. That's what I took. I don't know. It's a really long time. And I don't remember that being in the show, right? That was not in the show.
No, Jaime's fever dream was not in the show.
Yeah, no,
not at all.
No. So I think that's like a circle. He started with that. So his literally only good deed then was hindering the Mad King to burn down King's Landing. And I think Cersei wants to do that, and he's hindering her.
It's interesting because dreams have played such a big impact for so many different characters. And I mean, we talked about it last time that we were on air, that they save the resurrections and the dreams, and they kind of specifically have skills for most of the different people on the show, so they aren't complicating or confusing people. In the books, though, it's multiple people are experiencing multiple different types of abilities and things like that. So I'll get Elamar and JR in a second after Gemma here. Jaime's fever dream, obviously he experiences kind of like that Lightbringer type moment there when he goes beneath Casterly Rock, and then there's Rhaegar's ghost approaches him and all of that, and he's having the dream on the weirwood stump, and then he has that moment where he's faced by the remaining ghosts of the Kingsguard. So this was a question from Art Girl. What do you think about Jaime's fever dreams? Is that foreshadowing for Jaime's endgame in the books, and will it have any impact on kind of his endgame in the show?
Yeah, I think first of all, we have to look at the fact that Jaime is not a prophetic character. He's not the ghost of High Heart. He doesn't have the jingles of Patchface. He's not a priest like Makoro or Melisandre. He hasn't got any flames. The only way he was able to access something so powerful was by resting his head on a weirwood tree stump. So that would suggest that this is a message or perhaps a warning from the old gods, Blood Raven, Bran, whatever, that whole collective. In some sense. And what happens is Jaime literally descends down into his psyche in that dream. He's accompanied by Brienne. He meets his fallen foes, and ultimately he has to face his family, which I think is fascinating.
It's really interesting because Jon kind of has a similar type of dream where he feels like doesn't belong in the crypts of Winterfell, and Jon and Jaime are so similar.
They are. It's the parallels between those two dreams are eerie. They literally both descending down into the depths of an area in which their family is waiting to meet them. They both have very different responses to it. However, I think Jaime needs, it was either a warning or a suggestion from the old gods that he needs to leave the clutches of his sister in order to be what he needs to be. It was a really trippy dream. Blue swords and ghosts of Rhaegar, and it was an awesome dream.
And it's really interesting because Jon is this exiled king. We know he's royalty, and Jaime's like widely wanted by Tywin to take over Casterly Rock. So there's kind of these opposites happening, but also in the same time, they don't feel like they are really doing. They aren't really on their best path. And
I think what the most fascinating bit for me is the fact that Brienne represents his light in the darkness. I think there's a lot of Azor Ahai imagery going on here, but if anybody in this dream is Azor Ahai, it's Brienne. She's got the sword. She is the light in the darkness. She is his literal light. So, and if it wasn't for Brienne, he would have just been lost, fumbling around in the dark, terrified and alone. I think that's huge.
We will get to the donations in just a second. Well, I'm going to grab JR and Ella Mars. Hot takes here. JR, I saw you get animated there. What's up, my man?
Just the whole dream sequence. It's absolutely amazing. And this is actually the second fever dream that we get in the book series, right? And he caused the first one.
That's correct. Yeah.
So there's a really interesting parallel between it, and that's what I absolutely adore about it. Is it's that callback to him initiating this, because the first fever dream that we get is from Ned, and that's after his altercation with Jaime in the streets of King's Landing.
There's three. Then Bran has a fever dream, a coma dream, because of Jaime.
Right,
where it's flying beyond the curtain.
Everything keeps piling up, but it's surrounded with Jaime, which is really fascinating, and it leads to a lot of great theories and speculation in theory crafting, because he's the central character in all the fever dreams.
Helen, you're hilarious with that mic. I am going to come over to Germany and take that mic away from you in a second. I love you.
I'm going to send her one of the arms so she can just put it right in front of her face and not ever touch it again.
I think Aziz...
She's pouring her drink, and I can hear her pour her drink.
No. Like, Aziz sent me a message. It looks like you're doing porn stuff or something with your mic on one of our streams, and I was like, what the fuck? It's not my fault this is shaped like this.
Elamar, I know thoughts on the fever dream. We know some people think that it's a dragon dream. I'm not of that belief at all. He's sleeping on a weirwood stump. We know that the weirwoods are very symbolic for many reasons. They are represent the spiritual realm and death and all of these different things. What are your thoughts on Jaime's fever dream?
Yeah, so this is actually after he gets his hand chopped off, right? Is that it? I keep thinking about that, but so I think that's kind of that has something to do with that too, because he's losing part of him, and that loss. When you lose something, you gain something too. Like when you gain something, you lose something. So it's like a trade in a way. So by losing his hand, I definitely think that he opened something up within him. And I saw your face, Kyle, when Gemma said, "Oh, and it's Brienne," and you're like, "What?"
I'm like,
yeah,
because me and Gemma literally had a panel at Con of Thrones talking about Jaime being an Azor Ahai figure.
I saw your face like the second she said Brienne, I was like, okay, but no, like the thing that you said, Gemma, right away, that was a lovely thing too, where and that's actually also in the chat where somebody is somebody's light, but that light never goes out, because if you're a light, if you're lighting somebody's way, somebody's path, then you are inspiring them, and then they go on and they can inspire other people. So the light never is never off. The light continue. Exactly. Thank you. Too many of these here. I can't find my words. Yeah, it continues. So the light bringers, maybe more. Somebody's causing somebody to be better, to be this light bringer, or yeah.
It's interesting because we've spoken about this a bunch of different times. Lightbringer not necessarily meaning a physical object, being an epiphanic moment or a realization, a transformation of someone, that kind of your final form or who you're meant to be. This is, oh God, what's going on in chat? There's just something.
You're making fun of Helen. It's great.
Yeah, keep it going, keep it going. But you know, that's certainly something that's interesting. And I think, thank you, Art Girl, for the great question. It's one of my favorite parts of Jaime's story that I like to look at, because he did kill the Mad King for the right reasons, yet he is called the Kingslayer. So he's constantly trying to shed this Kingslayer label, and I think that's just something that he is trying to come to grips with. We have 3 more donations from the chat. You guys are insane tonight. We have Prince That Wasn't Promised, or Janet Powell. $5 US. Remind me, did Kat and Ned tell their children that they suspected Jaime pushed a Bran from the window? When did each of the Starks to find out? That didn't happen. Janet, thank you so much for the donation. Really appreciate that. Prince That Wasn't Promised. Brienne tells Bran about the truth. The Toad King, so he goes back to see what happened with the Mad King, saves Jaime's rep. What do we think about this?
Sure, why not? I'm okay with it. I wouldn't hate it. I think there's more pressing issues coming down, but
I think that main thing, Bran is gonna probably defend Jaime at some point. Is gonna, like, people are there's gonna be a split on Jaime Lannister, mostly on the side that don't want him there. So I think that Bran might be one of the people who's like, hey, we need him. He's really important. Thank you, Prince That Wasn't Promised. Rick Hoppy. By the way, Rick, awesome guy, one of our longtime Patreon.
He sent you coffee.
He sent me amazing Ethiopian Yirgacheffe coffee. I ate a bean, and it literally tasted like black tea and lemon. Best coffee I've ever had. And he sent me a coffee grinder and a Bodum French press. Rick, thank you so much, man. I actually stayed, by the way, for those of you that remember, I stayed at Rick's place in California. All those outdoor
beautiful backdoor patio streams that were fantastic. Rick, how we doing, sir?
He's coming to Con of Thrones. Rick, you know I already owe you dinner. You're
yes.
You're good to go. Jaime says Jaime has this, and thank you for the donation.
Everyone has.
Jaime has a soft spot in their hearts for characters that have a change of heart and redeem themselves. Someone is way too close to their mic. That was me. I read that as part of the donation. Oops.
Can I take this one? We do have a soft spot for Jaime in our hearts, but Jaime, he's on this redemption arc. Yes, most definitely, 100%. But the changes in his personality have been very subtle. The thing that's for the engine that's propelled his arc is our understanding of him, not him changing as a person. I cannot imagine him waltzing into King's Landing, Winterfell, all humble and meek and bending the knee. He's Jaime mother effing Lannister. He's arrogant. He's coarse. He says that and I cannot say, unless the show just go off the rails again, I cannot see him having a complete personality transplant. Even when he was having his bathtub speech with Brienne, which was just spectacular. I'm so delighted with the way those actors did that scene. It was gorgeous. He was still Jaime. He was still arrogant. He was still, since when does a lion concern itself with the opinions of sheep? You know, he was angry. He was bitter. He was... You know, and what's changed and what's forwarded his arc is us and how we understand him and how we relate to him as somebody who was in a very complicated grey situation, and the fallout from that's given him a name and the bitterness that he has for being the Kingslayer. Basically.
That's my favorite excerpt from the whole book, Jaime's speech to Brienne, by the way, and show scene. LMR, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, that's actually what you were saying, Gemma. And that's exactly, I think, why we all love this stuff, because they are real people. We can kind of relate to stuff, and hopefully nobody can relate to pushing the kid out of the window or doing stuff with their sister.
Well, I've got
brother.
kids that can kind of relate to that to an extent.
So
but
that's why I think we love them. And it would be so odd if, let's say, Jaime was like, oh yeah, and I'm, this great man, and I'm gonna do no bad, and like, no, that's not real. We never change like that. We may change a little bit. We may be not as bad, but we don't go like 180. That would be weird. That would not make any sense if he was like that ever. I would just be upset if he became like the saint. Like, no. So.
No, he's going to give as good as he gets. If people are coming at him and have got problems with him and there's tension, he's not going to just back down and take that. He's going to stand up for himself. He's going to give them a few hard truths. This is Jaime.
By the way,
better, anyway.
We have Kenny Cross, who goes by the name of Axe Chucker. Great member of Watchers on the Wall. He underwent a couple surgeries. So we got 180 people here. If we can send him some positive vibes in the chat and some love, I would really enjoy that. Kenny is one of the coolest people I've ever met in the community. Met him the night before the first Con of Thrones, and we had drinks together. Me, Aziz, Shea, all sorts of awesome people. So Kenny Cross, I see you, my man. The chat's flowing fast, but I saw you pop up in there, homie. I hope you're doing
He's been here a while, actually. I saw him earlier on. Hi, Kenny.
He's quick, man. Yeah, he's doing his thing. Yeah. Where should we go from here? We have a couple more questions from Patreon and GeekChat1. And is everybody cool?
Can I just add something to what Gemma said?
Yeah.
Because what I think, and I really liked when Jaime came back, from this horrid trip with Brienne, and he was like completely changed in a way, because you said he didn't really change, but I think he did. In a way, he reacted to his family and his sister. Yes, obviously he still stood behind Cersei, but in a way, he didn't. He was so annoyed about all the politics, all the bullshit, everything. And he had no patience for all this bullshit. And you could totally see it. And for all the lies and everything, he was just not into it anymore. And he didn't want to take it. And you could completely see how his and Cersei's relationship changed. And he didn't want to take these intrigues and this plots and everything. And his family is like the most... I don't know the English word, but he's like, they plotted and Cersei is insane.
Schemer.
Yeah, schemers, exactly. And
subterfuge. Can we go with that one?
You're so British. Oh my God.
Yeah. But he didn't, he just like, I have no time for that. That was his attitude at that moment.
I actually think, Helen, that he always had that stance. I think he never cared about any of the subterfuge, but I don't think he was as overt in expressing the fact that he didn't care. He was always he was just interested in himself and fighting and being a knight and all of that kind of stuff. He left all of that stuff. He rejected Casterly Rock. He was lusting after his sister. But I don't think he was ever interested or involved. But he certainly came back and made his feelings far more clear.
Yeah, but he focused then on this, on the Kingsguard and on the White Book. So he did focus on stuff, but he was like so annoyed with his own family, because he now for the first time saw they are weird schemers and insane people and bad fathers and everything. So he was just fed up with his family, actually, which he wasn't in my mind before. And so I think in that way, his attitude towards his family changed.
Maybe more so in the show. He never really liked his family in the books at all.
Okay.
They messed him around a lot. He only joined the Kingsguard because he wanted to be with Cersei, and then his dad took Cersei away.
And it was Cersei's idea to begin with, because she is such a great mastermind at anything that she puts her head in. It's so ridiculous in the book. Like, Jaime's been fucked so many times by Cersei that it's not even countable.
Yeah, and we're not talking literally.
I know.
So before we go through, we have a couple more Patreon questions, and then we're going to move over to live chat questions. We have 190 people here right now. Awesome. We have a couple of announcements. JR, Gemma, who wants to go first?
JR's getting all prepared.
That's why I was waiting for Gemma to go first.
Oh, ladies. I'll go first. Okay. We're doing.
You know me. You know you're going first if it's me.
Yeah, JR is such a gentleman. You have no idea. I did not open a single door for myself the entire time I was in Dallas.
Don't listen to her. It's all a bunch of lies.
It's true. And it's weird. English people aren't used to being called ma'am. Only the Queen gets called ma'am in this country.
Yeah, that's inherently it. My mom would slap the shit out of me if I didn't call you ma'am, yes sir, no sir, open doors and pull out chairs. Like my mom would slap the shit out of me.
There we go.
That's a very nice mom. Very good. That's how it should be.
Wasn't dragged up. But anywho, yeah, what we're doing is in GeekChat1, which I know most of you in the chat are members of GeekChat1. It's a Facebook group where we all just kind of hang out and do our thing. We discuss theories. There's a bit of memeage going on, which is always fun. We're doing as a celebration for season 8. We're doing a little. It's not really a competition because there's no prizes. It's the Stanley prize, isn't it, JR? That way there's no losers, but there are losers because we're calling it win or die. And basically the situation works like this. We're going to post a thread in GeekChat1 laying out the details, and we're going to ask anybody that would like to be involved in this win or die competition to just make themselves known in this thread. We will compile a list of all of the people that want to be involved. And then on Wednesday, JR and I are going on GeekChat1 YouTube channel, and we are going to draw from a literal hat, because we're doing it retro, live, everybody's names, and we're going to assign you to one of 20 teams, and each team is a character that is presently still alive in the show. And then so you will become Team Sansa, for example, or Team Jon, or Team Tyrion, and then we will announce the teams in GeekChat1, and then when we get to season 8, in any given episode, if your team's character dies, you're out, and we'll see who is left, see who wins, and we'll see who dies at the end. But there's no prizes, so don't get too excited. It's just for fun and a bit of banter.
It's like a suicide football pool where you make a pick.
Yeah.
Basically the same thing, but with Game of Thrones characters and teams. So
we've got a few people dibsing teams. It's randomly generated. You do not get to pick your character.
Yeah, you don't get to pick your own team.
No, you will be assigned a team, and then the smack talk in the group can commence.
Gemma, who knows nothing of Harry Potter, is going to have a sorting hat, and we are going to sort you into your teams. And then we will have team captains, and we'll have some great banter on GeekChat1 on Facebook in the group. It'll be it'll be awesome.
Exactly, Turbo. It's a Deadpool. We're doing a Deadpool.
Okay, we're doing a Deadpool with a live draft.
Yes.
It's going to be super fun. We're going to have, by the way, we're not going to release this quite yet because we don't have it 100% organized.
Talamasca wants to be Sansa.
Yeah, I've already preliminary penciled him in.
Sansa forever for Talamasca Dan. What you should
closer, tiny dancer.
Tiny dancer.
Starting, oh my God,
yes. Do what you want me to do. Okay, anyways, enough of Tina Turner. Me and Gemma have a special announcement for the both of us. We are going to be doing after shows. So we're going to be splitting them up three on Gemma's channel, 3 on my channel. And we're not going to tell you which ones we have yet. There's going to be a special guest for each one. Really excited. And so we're going to have 2 streams per week. We're going to have an after show, and then in the middle of the week on Wednesdays, we're going to have the trailer breakdowns, foreshadowings, talking about predictions and all sort of stuff. Special guests for every one of those episodes. Together, Gemma, I think we got 2 final wrap-ups, and I think we got like 14 or 15 episodes of live streams prepared for you for Game of Thrones Season 8 with special guests. So,
that reminds me, LMR, I'd like to invite you to come on our channel to do one of those. So I'll message you later, and we'll sort that out when we're not live, right? Yeah.
And we're gonna do a Patreon one. Well, I'm gonna do something on my Patreon for best theory, and then we're gonna invite someone on. It's gonna be cool. Still a ways away to go, but we're getting that stuff organized for you. But we're gonna be going live right after every episode of Game of Thrones Season 8. So get hyped for that. Any more announcements that we have?
JR has one.
JR might have one.
Actually, as someone mentioned it in chat right now, Kyle, is info up about the ticket giveaway? JR, how about you speak with that?
Oh, perfect timing for that question. The information is not up, but it will be posting shortly on GeekChat1. This morning, when the press release went out that Nikolai Coster-Waldau was going to be at Con of Thrones, I went ahead and purchased one of the Kingslayer passes, and we are going to be giving it away on GeekChat1. There's going to be rules and criteria that go for it. Pretty significant purchase, pretty big deal, and being able to meet him, get a picture with him, get an autograph with it or of his, it's going to be phenomenal. So it's a big giveaway, and it's going to be going with GeekChat1. The rules will be coming forward, but on top of that announcement, since somebody outed me on the Patreon side of it, we have been working really hard to get the Patreon stuff up. And what does that mean for everybody? It means that the merchandise side of it is coming as well for GeekChat1. Some of you may know about the Purple Gemma vote, which
for God's sake,
it did happen. And
I vetoed, didn't I?
Gemma and I have worked out a contract for using her likeness. She's keeping the back end rights to use it at any time. Much like Lucas, if I decide to make toys, she's going to keep all of those profits for the toys.
The hilarious thing is, JR, is you said that you would get a tattoo of the Geek Chat logo. And if they chose Purple Gemma, then that means you would have to get a tattoo on your ass of me in purple, which is not happening under any circumstances.
No. The tattoo deal was the Geek Chat 1 glasses, the original logo for Geek Chat 1. That's what that one, and Lauren from Lauren's Corner is in on that one as well.
By the way, I'm going to stop the whole panel here for a second to shamelessly plug. If you haven't subscribed to Geek Chat 1, you must go in the description of this video and subscribe to Geek Chat 1. Otherwise, there's going to be some hell to pay.
Yeah, we can't be friends. We cannot be friends.
What are we going to do? Start pushing them out of windows?
Okay. Yeah. So here's why we got to do this. The new YouTube rules state you got to have 4,000 hours of watch time plus 1,000 subscribers to be monetized on your channel. JR 100% deserves to be monetized.
Yes.
He's been coming on mine and Gemma's channel for quite some time. He's been a community supporter forever. Everybody support Geek Chat 1. You can go support Geek Chat 1 on Facebook, but also
Chrissy has put the link in the chat as well, so go and do that right now.
The whole panel.
And you know what? And you know what? JR knows so much about literally everything. Star Wars, Marvel, Game of Thrones. He can talk to all of us. Like I'm like, I didn't read books XYZ from Game of Thrones, but he knows everything. Guy deserves a like.
Yes, he does. So Geek Chat 1, if you haven't joined, go join. Okay. Or I'm gonna have to eat every fucking chicken. We know that. Also, rest of the panel, LMR, our lovely guest this evening. Her channel is in the description of this video. Please make sure you do that as well, so I don't have to raise my voice.
Again. Right.
Any other announcements that we have, panel? I think that's it. We are all going to Con of Thrones. LMR, you're going as well? Confirmed?
Oh, of course I am. Oh my gosh. Yes. I'm like waiting. I'm packed. Okay, I'm packed.
She saw me, Jaime and Helen, and she's like, "Damn,
I got my bags packed. I'm waiting. Like, what the heck? I'm ready to go."
If you go back on LMR's channel, you can actually see a live stream that her and I did talking about how to Con of Thrones. Like how to organize yourself for a Con of Thrones.
Be packed already, apparently.
Speaking of that, I spoke with Oz, one of the members of Mischief Management Watchers on the Wall. We're going to be doing a Con of Thrones hype special before Con of Thrones during season 8. He's going to come on the channel. I have some members of Watchers on the Wall going to come here. It's going to be really, really fun. We're going to talk about Con of Thrones. They're going to have way more information about panels, programming, guests, and stuff like that. We've only got a little bit of that right now, but I spoke to Oz today, spoke this morning, congratulated them on getting Nikolai, obviously. But
yeah, that's huge.
And Kenny, if you want to come on, invitation's open, homie. Go ahead, Gemma.
Oh, I was just about to tell you that I wanted to say one last thing. And really, really quickly, I just wanted to say thank you. My channel hit 80,000 subscribers.
There we
today,
go. I was waiting for that one. I was like, I can't tell her that.
Thank you. Just thank you, everybody. That's an overwhelming number, and I'm very humbled and very grateful. And now I'm going to have to do something special, I suppose.
Spamming 80,000 purple gemmas in chat will suffice. I
cannot wait till I might get shot for this, but I think I might have one of the. No, I can't show it. I will get shot for it. I can't show the design of the purple gemma shirt for the merch store.
Oh, no.
I can't. It's a thing. It exists.
Oh my god.
You guys in chat find the funniest emojis. I swear to God.
I don't know how they get some of these emojis.
I know.
I'm loving all the purple hearts.
Purple gemma, purple hearts.
Yeah.
Letting you in on another little secret for Con of Thrones. We're going to be doing some podcasts. Me, Gemma, and some other people are going to be staying together. We're going to have some awesome extracurricular stuff.
What are you talking about? Like we're all in this together right now, except for
this chat, JR. Don't spoil the secret.
Oh, my bad.
Robert will be part of that. Aziz is going to come join us. We're going to have some cool. We're going to have some super cool. Helena is going to be my camera woman. It's going to be awesome. I can't even look at you without laughing.
I mainly flirt with Jaime Lannister, so I don't give a shit about you. I'll just be there like, hey, Jaime.
She doesn't care about having her.
She will as well. She so will.
What if he dresses up as Jaime?
No,
oh,
kind
God.
of like
okay. This stream was being professional for a few minutes. We're gonna go back to professionality, whatever, if that's even a word.
You know, if he comes to parties at the house, I'm gonna be stoked.
Yeah, JR will be flirting.
Anyway,
you never know.
Zach Reimer, videos are coming, my friend. I'm sorry, chat. You know, mental health takes #1 priority. I've been taking care of that, but I promise you. Ask Gemma and JR. I've been writing like crazy. I just had to take some time off. Anyways, let's get back to the Jaime discussion before we get into too many other juicy nuggets that we should be keeping secret.
You wanted to talk about a theory, didn't you, Kyle? We kind of have to go there, unfortunately.
Yeah, which one was that, Gemma?
The secret Targaryen theory.
And that was a donation from earlier that we had.
Oh, then I take back the eye roll in that case.
Jacqueline,
you're such a liar. No, you don't.
Jacqueline Ziegler, thank you for your donation. And Marvin, I saw your other donation. We haven't forgot about that. But panel, you know, secret Targaryen. Some people believe that Jaime and Cersei are secret Targaryens. Some people believe that Tyrion is the third Targaryen with his interactions. The dragons. Let's discuss. Let's start off with Ella Mar, since she's our guest tonight, and then we'll go with Helen. And then we'll go with Gemma last. She's the most. Elamar, what do you think about the Jaime secret Targaryen theory?
Well, if Jaime, then Cersei too, kind of, right? Unless we are missing something, maybe. I don't know. There are possibilities, kind of. They look kind of the same. I don't know if they're identical.
You're a secret Targ. You're a secret Targ. You're a secret Targ. You're a secret Targ.
Everybody's passing it out.
You know, I don't even know if I want it to be true, because there's, you know, so much complexity. Is that a word? Complexity? I think it is. It sounds right. It is a word now. So there's so much complexity behind all this, like who killed whom and what, and the, you know, the whole web of craziness. But it would be nice and ironic, and I like irony and I like twists and chaos. So it would be interesting if he actually were, if he was that Targaryen or secret Targaryen.
And Tyrion was the only son of Tywin
Lannister. That would be like such a blow.
Yeah.
And I love that. But
that's the part that makes me love it too. Is the Tyrion is Tywin's son.
Yeah.
That's what makes it stick for me. So I'm totally okay with Cersei and Jaime being Targaryens. If they're not, fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Tyrion a Targaryen? No.
No. I don't want him to be Targaryen.
Helen is okay with this because she wants to dress up as Cersei at God of Thrones. She's okay with incest if it means Nikolai is involved.
100%.
Do you know how many people are going to God of Thrones as Jaime now just to talk to you, Helen? Think that one through, Turbo.
Oh my God! I try to keep this channel and stream professional. It's just insane.
It's a Friday drinking stream. Come on, Kyle. We are being professional.
Go ahead, Helen.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think literally the same. Like, it would be so epic if Tywin, however you want to call him, his legacy and family and the Lannisters, it would be so epic if it would be only Tyrion. But question for the book people: is it possible time-wise? Was she at the court? Was what's her name? Joanna Lannister? Joanna?
Yeah, she was.
Was she in court, or did the Mad King visit Castle Rock during that time? Is there any information about that? Does Mushroom know anything?
Ares
Mushroom was a different time period. But what we know is that there was a lot of back and forth movement with Joanna, Ares, Tywin. We don't know the exact timeline of 20 years worth of back and forth, but there was certainly potential opportunity for Jaime and Cersei, and there was we know of a definite period of time where Tyrion could have been conceived. So Tyrion has more evidence in that sense, but there's no. I think George R. R. Martin in an interview got a bit testy once and said it wasn't as if she was tied down in Castle Rock and couldn't go anywhere. That might have been about Ashara Dane actually, but the same applies.
What?
But we know that Martin loves these stories, you know, like it's not his real child and another father, and
Well, and I think a part of that, like, does anybody watch? It's on public broadcasting in the United States, so it's pretty much. Oh wait, no, it's just LMR, and I might see it. It's on OPB or public broadcasting, and they just had an episode of George R. R. Martin and his own family history. Like through DNA testing and everything else.
His grandfather is Jewish, I believe.
Yeah,
right.
So he didn't know.
All growing up, he had this long-seated question of his own parentage and his own family tree. And it kind of lends itself very well to a Game of Thrones and to A Song of Ice and Fire, and the way that he treats that. It's very indicative of it, as a matter of fact. And it's a really great episode. And he ended up being left with more questions in it than he had answers because of the show. And Finding Your Roots is the name of the show. Thank you, whoever. That was Sandor's Wolf. You guys are still hype in chat, so that's awesome. OTDA, thank you. Yes. And that episode was him and Andy Samberg from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, for anybody who knows that. It was a really great episode, really interesting to watch, but it's kind of, it's a question mark that he had growing up, obviously.
Yeah, same with, I don't know, do you know the director, Lars von Trier? Like, really crazy guy.
Yes.
And he's a very famous director. Yeah, same with him. Like, he found out his mother always told him his father is a Jewish, Danish, whatever guy. And actually, his father was a German Nazi who was stationed in Denmark during that time. And he also found out, like, really, really late in life. And you could see it in a lot of his movies. Same with R.R. Martin. It's really interesting that, it triggers them, and it's an important topic to them.
Ask Gemma. He plays with genealogy and family lines and everything else.
War of the Roses was one of his huge.
Exactly. I mean, there's so much history involved in this.
Right. Edward wasn't the right son, right? He was some archer's son.
Yes.
Gemma. Yeah. Correct. Right.
And then there was the Duke that was very much like Aegon in the books. Like there's so many similar parallels.
I actually think, well, it's not me personally thinks, but the the general premise goes that throughout history, illegitimate children being presented as legitimate children happens way more than people realize. We didn't have Maury or DNA tests or Dr. Phil or Jeremy Kyle is the English counterpart. We didn't
I'm
have
going to make
any of
another
that.
drink. I have to pee something.
So obviously you just had to take the lady's word for it, and I think it happened way more than
it
people
happened
realized.
a lot. And probably my best friend in the world. Actually, I know she's my best friend. Anyway, she's super into that, and she goes to.
He's talking about me and Gemma.
Goes to a con every year talking about DNA testing and how it's evolving and everything else, and connecting the story and the background for it. And it's really intriguing how many family secrets there actually are that have been kept, that get uncovered by DNA testing and by public record search and all this other stuff. Like, literally, even in your own family, you might think you are the, whatever, the middle of the road, whatever family, Ozzy and Harriet. Trust me, you are not. That somewhere in your family, there was something shady going on, and what you think your relations actually are to people aren't necessarily the case.
That is so crazy. I have a neighbor. She's an older lady. I mean, like, retired for many years. And she just found out that one of her parents is not her parent, and her cousin, somebody, is not her. And she just found out, and she has grandkids, and she just now found out about that stuff because somebody told her, and she did the testing, and oops, who's my daddy type of thing. Yeah, so it's crazy.
Or uncles adopting their children from their brother. There's so many different instances of all sorts of different things. It's just uncanny that the story, much like A Song of Ice and Fire, we would love to think that it's this crazy fantasy. This would never happen, when in fact it's actually just reality. Yeah. That's what makes it just so mind-boggling. A Song of Ice and Fire is literally reality, but people have blinders onto it, right? I mean, they don't see it in their regular life because they know the story or they know the truth.
Well, before DNA testing, there was no other way of proving anything, was there? I mean, in Game of Thrones, well, The Song of Ice and Fire, George R.R. Martin takes some liberties with genealogy as far as eye color and hair color goes, being proof in a sense. But
it's a boring book. Hair of Black.
Yes. Obviously, real genealogy isn't as simple as that, but yeah, it is interesting, like you said, that this is not as fantastical as we might imagine.
Yeah, but the book was the only thing Ned had to prove it. He didn't have a DNA test, so
there was no, you mean to tell me there was no 23andMe in Westeros? Son of a bitch, I was putting all my eggs in that basket too. I wanted that IPO just to blow up.
We have 2 more donations.
Sorry.
We have Zoom who says, Zor Hype, you were so supportive of the Game of Thrones universe, plugged into Indie Peak so much. I thought you should be in PR. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Actually, I took business in school, so I hope that's paying off because I didn't use my diploma for 10 years. So, yeah.
It's funny because at university I was Middle Eastern Studies major, and all I've done my entire life is basically marketing and business development, which is kind of funny to me. So I'm like, yeah, Middle Eastern Studies, great.
I bartended for 10 years. Marvin Martin, is Jaime's dark side just because of Cersei's trauma under Ares and judgment by all the world? By the way, I want to be in Team Ghost or Drogon. So, okay, dark side. Jaime's dark side is Cersei. Anybody want to jump? LMR or JR?
JR, go ahead.
Look at Helen.
It is Jaime's dark side. So Jaime in the very beginning was trying to protect a secret that would have been damaging to the entire realm. So once again, his choice is wrong. He knows it's morally wrong. He accepts that it's morally wrong what he's doing, but he's also trying his best to protect that secret to ultimately protect the realm. And I think there's a huge misnomer about what Jaime is and does. Like, it's meant to be very shocking that he pushes a kid out the window. That is meant to drive you into a camp of, fuck that guy. But that's not what it is, because you have to set him up as the villain before you can make him the hero. And that's what's happening in this entire story arc. And a lot of people that are show only, like, have a misinformed idea of how complex Jaime Lannister actually is. He is personally one of my favorite characters.
Luke Skywalker.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, right. He kissed Luke Skywalker kissed Leia.
Luke Skywalker lost a hand. Luke Skywalker
did. So why is it that people are such big Jedi fans just can't buy off on the fact that Jaime, might be a damn Jedi?
Luke didn't know his father.
Yeah.
That's Jaime Targaryen.
And neither did Jaime, according to some theories, Helen.
Yeah.
LMR, and then we'll get to Helen. And then...
What I really enjoy about the possibility, if Jaime is the son of Ares, then Tyrion killed his father and Jaime killed his father. But if it's the other way around, they killed each other's fathers.
Yes.
So either way, if either of them are secret Targs, that's awesome. That's like
fantastic.
Yeah,
it's like Jon Snow's grandfather killed his other grandfather.
That's
like
right.
That's kind of messed up, right?
And Jon and Dany killed their mothers.
Yep.
And Tyrion.
And Tyrion.
Which is why the three heads of the dragon.
Yeah.
Which is why the three heads of the dragon is such a prominent theory.
It is a big theory, and that's
death must pay for life. Yes.
But what do you do with a blue-headed dragon?
I don't know. You got a joke for us, or?
No, I figured you'd have to let him go.
Stop. That was a bad joke. I'm not even gonna go there. But
see, I inferred it.
JR, let LMR speak.
I'll say it after the stream, because you don't want me talking about that stuff here. Because
by all means, talk about the euphemism and a sword and a sheath that you're going to make with a blue dragon.
Yeah, let's just not go there. You don't want me going there.
That blue in German means strong.
You know what we haven't done yet is we got 180 people here. We have 108 likes. We haven't done shoutouts for chat yet. Antique Gamer, Peagle Pete, Tubbs, Chrissy of Oldstone, Terry T. Preston Cox, Papa Midnight, The Prince That Wasn't Promised, Marika. We have Phil H, Hot and Fear, Garden Girl Inc., Marvin Martin, Megan V. We have Preston the Blackfire, A Song of Hype, Sherry McLean. We have Alicia Kingston, Warrior Girl, Edward Martin. We have Kenny Cross, Turbo. We have Andy Burnett. We have Doug. We have Jaws Whedon. We have Daniel Oh my God, I'm butchering that last name. Izanami, Nyanor. Who else do we have in here? We have Art
Phil H, Martin, Alicia Keys.
You're just repeating the names that I just said, JR.
We do that every time.
I know. Okay, fine.
No.
Tubbs.
Original David Adams. We have the Blue Dragon. Because I know you're just you repeat them every single time that I do.
Hey,
you don't scroll up.
Courtney's in here now.
You don't scroll up. Steven Ryder, Carrie Davis. We have who else do we have? Sir Yari. We have Preston Cox. We have that's LMR. Rick Hoppy, obviously. Jenny of course.
Oh, that's just LMR.
Thank you. It's just me.
Just
me. Me. Yeah.
Courtney Matza. Courtney Matza is awesome. We got to party with her at Conference.
We've also got Phil H.
You always got to say the H.
Yeah.
Phil H.
Some shout outs.
I could really ham up the received pronunciation if you want me to. Okay. We have Megan V, Daisy
Kowalczykowski.
Daisy, Warrior Girl, Alicia Kingston, Anime Lover Nicole, Devil Dane High, Edward Martin, Phil H. Marvin Martin, Tubbs, 26 Art Girl, Connie Super, Turbo, Pegleg Pete, Susan Dunkel, Blackfire, A Song of Hype, Papa Lawrence Corner, I'm done.
I do have a thank you if I could for two people in the chat for an awesome recipe that I did. Christy and DA, they shared the recipe. I think I forgot who was first, but they shared an awesome recipe for nachos, which I made 5 minutes before the stream, and I had to eat them because I didn't want to drink on an empty stomach. So thank you, DA. Thank you, Chrissy, for giving me the recipe so I don't get sick after this. So thank you.
By the way, a huge shout out to Carol Brown, who recommended the vegan restaurant in Dallas last year for Gemma's birthday. The nachos.
Who's vegan here? Tell us.
I don't know.
Wait, is Gemma? Is Gemma a vegan?
Like every time Gemma is out with me, she tells everyone she's vegan.
It's true. I always tell everybody. It's always me.
Oh, I'm vegan. I'm Gemma. But we went to this restaurant. Amazing service, by the way. I can't remember what it's called. It's a diner in Dallas. They had the most amazing service. Carol Brown, thank you once again. But they made nacho cheese out of cashews. And we had 2 plates of nachos for the table. And I'd never seen anybody eat nachos so friggin' fast. They were the best nachos we ever had. And it wasn't close. It was so good.
Phil H says, "Hey Kyle, is Gemma a vegan? Because I don't remember." And then Karen Richmond said, "Vegan count begins." That is 1 mention. We will see how many more we get.
So we're at 7:34 right now. We started at 6:03. How much time does everybody have? Can we get another 20 minutes for questions? 20 minutes of questions in?
No, 40 minutes.
Don't be a Debbie Downer. And I want you
40 minutes.
To
now we'll go another hour. This is fantastic. Gemma doesn't
went
even
from
sleep.
20
It's
minutes
fine.
to 42 an hour from JR here. So.
Do you know what? You guys are clearly getting pretty wasted, and I'm on coffee. This is fucking hilarious. I'm up for the whole night as far as I'm concerned.
Great. Like since 5 hours ago.
So Helen, okay.
Helen, get more gin. You'll be fine.
No, look, I drank all this in like, it's a big bottle.
How am I even gonna? I'm gonna have to babysit these gals.
You're such a rookie. This was full when I started.
We can tell, JR.
Anyways, chat.
I'm actually lying about that.
Let us have your questions. Chat, pose your questions. We'll try to get as many as possible. I'm gonna pose a question to Helen first.
No.
Okay.
I like to steal people's ideas and then just say, yeah, what she said.
Zoom, we saw your chat and announced that. We shouted you out earlier. I said you talked about the positivity of our community. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. All right, let's open it up. Q&A session is open. Jaime Lannister, let's get it. Let's see what's happening here.
And if we're waiting for questions on that, I just wanted to give my opinion on something. Like
let's hear it, Elamar.
So we are talking about Jaime and the choices that he made, right? So I think when Gemma was saying stuff about him and what he did, and like we are all talking about it, that got me thinking about the choices. Like it's not he was 16, right, when all that happened. So he had enough guts to actually do, for whatever reason, he did the right thing by killing that crazy person, saving people away. Yeah, exactly. So a 16-year-old could do it versus I forgot his name, Barristan.
Salmi.
Yeah, he didn't have. For whatever reason, he was so good. He couldn't break that goodness in him to make him break the vow to the king. And somebody has to make the bad choices. There has to be somebody with enough strength, with enough
intestinal fortitude
to do what needs to be done, even though it's a horrible thing, even though it's a bad thing. Somebody has to make that choice. And the poor kid apparently did what needed to be done for whatever reason.
Elamar, great point, because Jaime actually contested to Sir Gerald Hightower that he didn't like the decisions that Mad King Aerys was making. And Sir Gerald Hightower told Jaime to suck it up. He's like, listen, you serve your king. And Jaime was like, this isn't right. Like, this isn't morally correct. The Mad King is not right in the head. This shouldn't be happening. And Sir Gerald Hightower told him to shut up. And Jaime wanted to act even more previously than what you spoke of before he actually made the decision when the Mad King wanted to burn the rest of King's Landing with the pyromancers and whatnot. So great point to bring up, because Jaime had problems with Mad King Aerys for quite some time.
Yeah, and that thing with him doing this, and then we see later on doing the thing with the, pushing the little boy out the window. Well, if that hadn't happened, we wouldn't have all this. So he did it for something. He made that awful decision, like what things we do for love, of whoever love is,
Right.
love of the people, love of the
duty
whatever.
is the death of love. Love is the death of duty. That doesn't actually relate just to Jon. It actually relates to Jaime, because look at the choice that he made. Right? He made the choice of taking a duty with the Kingsguard for love because of Cersei, but he actually made the choice to kill the king.
Yeah.
Because he knew that it was wrong what the Mad King was trying to do.
And then when he was stepping away from Cersei, I mean, he gave up that love. That love died at some point, or maybe he still loves her. How can he not love her? So he gave up that for the love of people and greatness, because he can see how crazy she's getting. So again, tough choices, and I think those tough choices will continue later on.
Look at Helen measuring her glass, like she's like looking like, is this enough? Like, yeah, Helen, it's enough. Okay. Okay. JR, what are your thoughts on what Elmar had to say?
Sorry, taking care of something in chat. Like always, you can take a mod out of the game, but you can't take the game out of the mod. Sorry.
Doug, we appreciate trying to meme a little bit. Just try to keep it down for a little bit. We really appreciate you coming. Just try to keep it less gross. Thanks. That one's it was a little bit too TMI.
And it's untrue.
It actually is. That's why I'm like, nah, that's not true.
Yeah.
It's quite literally the opposite.
Yeah. There is no actual scientific basis for that. Helen is grinning. So the choices let's talk about the choices that Jaime has made. What are your thoughts on that?
Is that a first question? Did somebody say something before? No, yeah. No, like choices. What I really like, and what's so weird, because the first choice we know of, we learn of Jaime, like not time wise, but his first choice when he was very young, to kill his king, right? And everybody takes that very serious, the oath he swore to his king, and then killing him. And it's so weird that people hate him for an actual really good deed, and then that he's not telling, or he doesn't feel like he needs to tell. This I never understood, because I'm a complete different person. I would tell everybody, hey, I killed the king who wanted to kill you. And I didn't really get why he never told. Was it because he thought people wouldn't believe him? But everybody knew, they called him the Mad King, so people would believe, in my mind, that he wanted to burn King's Landing. So that's so weird to me, and that always got stuck in my mind. Why did that happen? Why did he never tell anybody, or never felt he needed to tell anybody and redeem himself? Yes, he broke his oath, but it was for a good cause.
Gemma?
I could probably hopefully maybe shed some light onto that. He kind of explains this in the bathtub scene. Since when does a lion concern himself with the opinions of sheep? He didn't feel he needed to. He's still got that arrogant streak. He's like, why should I have to?
But he often uses, I think he often uses his arrogance and his sarcasm as a kind of defense, because he thinks.
I've been doing it my entire life, and since I've been able to quote Jaime Lannister, it's been even better.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, God.
Can I take it back to immediately after he killed Aerys? Ned Stark walked in and saw him, and the look that Ned Stark gave him, that with those judgy eyes, he was judging him with his eyes. And I think that was the moment Jaime thought, you know what, screw you all, I don't need to answer to anybody, I know what I've done. And I think he thought, well, if the noble, honorable Ned Stark isn't going to believe me done, nobody will. What's the point?
I
think Ned was quite pivotal in that, ultimately.
Yeah, but you know how propaganda worked at those times. You know, like we know the story told from the winners, right? So that's the story we know, and he was part of this winning team in the end because his family chose the right side in the end, and so still he must have known that people could have believed in his version of the story. So
I think he was in this really difficult situation because even if they believed him and understood his motivations and that what he did was morally right, his job was to protect the king that he killed. And so he couldn't win, no matter which way he presented.
He's diametrically opposed to the action he had to take.
Exactly.
Like, absolutely. And that's one of the things, like in that position, when you are forced with those kind of choices, it's one of those things that I think his arrogance, well, his arrogance is, of course, a mask for what he did. He has a bit of issue with it, but not the issue that everybody thinks he has with it. He thinks, you know, worried about my honor. No, it's not about my honor. I didn't care. And he wasn't the hero that Westeros needed. Or he wasn't the hero
but he was the one they got.
Yeah, and he was, and he had to be that, and he wore that as with his smug Lannister arrogance. Of course he did, but he wore it, and he's still protecting the realm by letting them believe that version of events. And he knew it as soon as Ned walked in that throne room that was going to be the way it was, and he was smart enough to realize it from that moment forward, that he's going to have to let them hold the narrative, to hold him in contempt for whatever he did, because he made the right choice.
Karen Richmond has an amazing point in chat. We're also going to get to LMR in here in a second. Karen Richmond says Jaime's arrogance is his defense mechanism. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
Also, we have a couple of donations and a new patron of the channel. I got it all posted here. Donna Daly, thank you so much. And LMR, this question is for you because I know you're a fan of both of these characters. Sexual tension, and this is from Anime Lover, between Brienne and Jaime. Is this are they going to be able to act upon this in Game of Thrones season 8 or in the books? I don't personally think they're going to have enough time, but you know, some people think they're going to have sapphire cubs, as Anime Lover would say.
See, there's not enough time for that stuff. Although there should be time, because in a war, I mean, what else are you gonna do? It's winter, it's cold, you're fighting. We're gonna have sex. What else is there to do? There's no crops to be, you know, taken care of. You gotta do some fun stuff while you see people dying. So, but this is not, you know, a fairy tale. This is Game of Thrones. So I don't see that happening. Although it would be really nice to see them having, because Jaime he's only been with his sister, right? So, and she's been using him. So that's not like you're having sex with basically somebody who you hired. It's not the same as having a connection with somebody who loves you back. You may love them, but they may not love you back. Whereas with Brienne and Jaime, there would be that connection. So that would be something good for both of them. But I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get it. Although until we actually see the credits and everything is done, I'm still hoping for some fun and good stuff for them.
I want this. Everything you spoke about. I don't know. It's chat. Let's take a little poll. Do we think this is going to happen? That scene. I don't know. It's hard to see that happening. Gemma's shaking her head. We have another donation from Maria. It is Megan, and then we have an awesome question for the whole panel from Maria. I had to save this one. Megan V. Kyle, you're always so nice to everyone in the community. I try. Keep your head up, love and hype. Yeah, I hate being a dick. Anyways, thank you, Megan. You were awesome. Thank you for joining us. That was a $17 US donation, which is like $4,000 Canadian. So that's really, really awesome. Maria has an amazing question, and I want everybody to answer this. And we're going to start off with JR here. Do you think the show had Dany burn Sam's dad so that she'd have then to forgive Jaime for a similar act for killing her father? Really interesting question.
That's a great question. And it's a great one because Sam is probably going to be indifferent on that one, on his father. He's not going to be indifferent on Dickon. I just don't think it's possible for him because Dickon was kind of an innocent in that one. He made his choice. Don't get me wrong. He made his choice to stand with his father, and that's the way it was. But for Sam, I think he's going to be like, my dad, yeah, he's kind of a dick. I get that. But Dickon didn't deserve to die. I think it's a benefit for Sam, ultimately, for a myriad of reasons. But, it's just... It's an interesting parallel. It's an interesting parallel, and it's going to be fun to see it get sorted out.
I think Helen was cheersing you because she raised her glass to you, JR. I'm not sure if she was agreeing with your statement or not.
No, I was. Sophie Heubel just said, take a shot every time Kyle makes a comment about the Canadian dollar. That's a new.
She's got to be wasted by now.
Wow, rude. Just kidding. Helen, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that, because we know that the show and books are both different. Me and you have had many debates about this.
We didn't. We mainly talk about My Little Pony.
That's a lie. Helen, answer the question. Okay, so seriously, did the show make so? Danny burned Sam's father, right? And obviously Samwell is going to have an interaction with Daenerys in Game of Thrones season 8, the show version, and we know that all these people are going to be congregating together to find out some sort of plan to fight the Night King. Obviously, do you think that they did that because Jaime and Danny are going to meet up? Do you think that the show made that conscious decision to do this because of that reason?
No.
And we're on to Gemma.
No.
And we're on to Helen.
No, I can follow up. I think the reason why they did that is because they like to keep sowing those seeds of, is Dany going to be a mad queen? Is she teetering? Which way is she going to fall? That kind of, and we get the good, wonderful Dany, and then she's crucifying a lot of people there. That's a bit dark. And oh no, she's being wonderful and freeing slaves. Oh no, she's burning people alive. And it's like, which way is that coin going to land?
Yeah, because they obviously say you flip a coin when there's an incestuous relationship with the Targaryens and you have madness. So they're trying to plant that seed that maybe Daenerys will become this antagonistic force in Game of Thrones season 8. I 100% believe that will not happen. However, there are a lot of people that really hate Daenerys Targaryen and think that she's a supervillain. So
Hashtag Maegor did nothing wrong.
Whoever said that, and I remember who said this, I'm just not going to mention your name. Wow. Okay. Maegor was messed up. LMR, what are your thoughts on it?
Okay, we said a couple of things. So you mean Jaime and Dany and their meeting and him. Okay, whenever I hear Jaime, I'm thinking Kingslayer, and then I'm automatically, I think they're priming us to do it. It's like a thing that George is priming us.
They, the big they.
Or that they are Kingslayer, Queenslayer, Night Kingslayer. Like I'm thinking how can I not think that he will kill the Mad Queen, whoever the Mad Queen is, or that he will not be the one who helps or kills the Night King. I mean, we hear it so many times, there's so many different hints to it, so I can't help myself to think that that may not happen, but it's exciting to think about those possibilities. That what if he killed the Mad King? What if he's going to be the one who kills the Mad Queen? What if he almost killed Bran, who may or may not be the Night King? Like all that.
Your friend Bridge Force certainly has made some interesting interesting notes about that, and I do think that Jaime Lannister as a character coming full circle, the redemption, whatever that may be, is gonna and for most stories in the hero's journey involves sacrifice, and he's already done that once for the people of King's Landing. So we see these things repeating within the Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones, like you're talking about, LMR, these things that are happening again. Will they make the same choices? We have a cat sighting. What's his name? Jon Snow?
No, this is Big Dog.
Okay, well,
of course Gemma would name a cat Dog.
Oh my gosh, what a cutie. Oh, and
he will not settle down. He's driving me insane.
I got the drinking horn, everyone. Shit's about to get real if this stream.
Are you getting the drinking horn?
I got the drinking horn.
Uh-oh.
The question is it empty?
It is empty right now. I haven't put anything in it for months. I usually put beer in this, but I don't know if whiskey's a good idea. Helen, is that your rescue from Greece?
No, it's the Moroccan one from.
Oh
from
my God!
See, Helen just collects, cats from around Europe. Whereas,
everybody in the chat.
It's not Europe.
I want
Africa.
I want everybody to spam cat emojis in the chat. Did you hear the kitty?
Yeah. That was a lovely purring.
Yeah,
oh my God.
When Kyle and I talk on the phone, she always goes to the phone and like chats to Kyle.
Yeah, we were chatting yesterday and I was like, and he goes, and I'll like call out every single time I talk. And I'm like, oh my God, I want this cat. See, oh my God, I want this cat.
Are there buttons on him or something? That is so adorable. That's the thing with
get this cat out of here.
That was adorable. The thing with cats, I mean, I don't own a cat. I have 2 dogs, 2 rescues. The thing about them is that they bark. They don't purr. They don't make nice noises. They either bark or my other one snores because he has
little dogs bark. I find I grew up with German Shepherds and Huskies because I live in the lands of always winter. We have another couple of donations.
There's cats everywhere in this chat.
There is cats everywhere in this chat. There's a lot of I don't want to say that word. We have Marvin Martin, who's made several donations over the past few streams. Marvin, thank you for your generosity. Did Cersei kill Kingsguard to make an opening for Jaime? And then we have Donna Daly, the Valonqar question, which has a lot of parallels to the Azor Ahai theory, which I love. Gemma, let's start off with you.
Which question? Valonqar or Cersei killing the Kingsguard?
Let's do the Valonqar.
Okay, yes, in my opinion, it has to be Jaime, and he will die pretty much straight away after that. I'm not sure how that's going to go down. He's probably going to strangle her, or they might both end up at the literal neck. But it has to be, she's obviously spent her whole life assuming it was Tyrion, and the hubris to not even consider it could be Jaime is awesome. So for me, it has to be Jaime. I'm not into the Hound or Arya and all the other theories. If Theon Greyjoy is another one. There's so many little brothers and little sisters in Game of Thrones. It could pretty much be anyone.
It could be anybody by that point.
Yeah.
And Gemma, to reference what you're saying for her to not consider it hubris, Jaime walking out on her saying, really?
Mm-hmm.
That last point in the last season is like, are you seriously considering what you're saying right now? And then he walks out and leaves her.
Yeah.
That is huge. So I love what you said there. The rest of the LMR and then JR, I know you have a huge point for this.
So are we just saying like if Jaime is the Valonqar or who is the Valonqar?
Yeah, so that was a specific question from Donna.
Okay.
Is Jaime the Valonqar?
I would like for that to happen, but I'm still kind of on the thing for Arya or Sansa sending Arya to kill. I know with the face of Jaime, and I know it sounds horrible, but that's my dirty, dirty little wish that I would have 3 people involved with killing her. But it would be so epic to see actually him taking her life somehow or contributing to it, meaning if he would let somebody in close to her, he doesn't have to be the one who does it maybe, but being the one who actually makes it possible to happen, in a way killing her, being the accomplice to that.
Somehow involved in the situation.
But LMR, does that mean Jaime is dead? Killed by who then? Or can she take his face without him being dead?
I think there's so much, stuff with it. I mean, we've seen her, what is it, Jaqen take the face or all that crazy stuff. I don't know if I was drunk watching it or if they were drunk making it, but it makes sense. So,
the answer is 42.
Purple and violence. That's always the answer. But it would be so great if it's not just one, because if it's more than just one, somebody sending somebody to do it and somebody else enabling it, I would be disappointed if it would be just one person. Let's just say this way, because then other choices.
But Cersei, okay, so Cersei then will dying, thinking her own brother killed her,
betrayed her or something.
Yeah, but in the end, he didn't actually. He stayed truth because his arc is he's the good boy now.
Well, he do something good. I mean, she's not. So she needs
no, but when you say Arya is doing it, then it's not Jaime.
In a way, like I'm thinking, if you let the murderer in with the knife or whatever, then you're kind of like, you're in with it. Like you don't have to do that thing.
Wow. I love this. You know why? Because imagine if the Clegane Bowl goes down. Hypothetical situation here.
The zombie
bowl.
The zombie bowl. They get into King's Landing, and then there's Brienne, Arya, Jaime, and Sandor Clegane, and then we have Qyburn and Cersei. Let's talk about show next season. We know the Clegane Bowl is going to probably happen in the show. Then Jaime and Arya both survived the Clegane Bowl, and they're like, I want to kill Cersei. No, I want to kill Cersei. How do you come to, like, I'm going to kill this person? Like, this person is defenseless. She's going to die.
Maybe they could all get in line and reenact for the watch.
Well, you know what I'm saying, though? Like,
wait, I don't even want to tell y'all what just came to mind in that. Never mind.
Choking her with one hand and the other hand, like both of them choking her. There's two hands.
So Arya and Jaime both having a hand, since Jaime doesn't have two hands. They both choke, right?
Let me help. Let me give you a hand.
This is like the worst death threesome ever.
But I will tell you this. I do think, I think it's going to be Jaime. However, that handmaiden that Cersei had that saw Jaime and Cersei sleep together in the show, there's something really off about that for me. And I think that if Jaime doesn't kill Cersei, I think that Arya is going to take her face and 100%.
That sounds interesting, because why would we see her? So why would she get so much screen time? Why would she even talk? There are characters that don't talk, so that would make sense for us to kind of remember her. And she's memorable too. She's gorgeous too, I think. So
yeah, she is.
She's the same handmaiden that's been there since season 1.
Sansa, she saw Sansa's first period.
She has emulated Cersei's look throughout the seasons, right into her wildfire Sept of Baelor aftermath thing that
she's a faceless man.
Her hair was shorter and everything. Like, there's something really odd about that whole situation. And
I'm not sure about that, but
it was normal in courts, like Gemma, in European courts during that, during the Dark Ages, it was whatever. It was normal that they copied the style of the queen.
Absolutely, that's what's on trend, isn't it? Cersei is the trend setter, and I love that she turned the loss of her hair into.
Terms, is it on fleek?
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, she's her hair's on fleek.
You said fleek. Everybody's got a drink.
And somebody posted in GeekChat. Somebody posted in GeekChat that really cool picture of Sansa, hashtag tiny dancer, with her different hair, with her different hairs, whomever
copying Dany's hair.
Was. Yeah, and also Marjorie's and everybody's.
Wait, Helen, didn't you post that?
You know what's really interesting too?
No, I didn't.
In relation to that,
I think Ottila, or I don't remember. Somebody posted
it. Might be Ottila Angel, maybe. What's really interesting though is the amount of names that Arya has gathered. She's been called Horseface, all sorts of different names. Her being a tomboy certainly could lead to the credence of the Valyrian word Valonqar being gender neutral. This has been discussed at quite a length, that it's not necessarily little brother, it's misinterpreted. So that is certainly interesting, because Arya is not your common female heroine type of character. She's definitely had a very interesting journey. So that's why I think there's a lot of discussion on that. But I mean, certainly the dead ringer for that is Jaime. I mean, it would make a lot of sense for Jaime to kill Cersei, but I wouldn't feel bad if it was Arya. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be upset at all. And Helen's apparently drank a whole bottle of gin. She's fine. Chat, let's get into, like, we spent way too much time on one question, but that's how we do. We got an amazing panel tonight. If you haven't checked out the rest of the panel, make sure, first of all, you go check out GeekChat1 and LMR. The links to their channels are in the description of this video, so make sure you go subscribe and check out their content. They got amazing theories, their own live streams, their own amazing things they do on their channel if you like this kind of thing that's going on. So a lot of other awesome content creators in the community. Of course, I know most of you already know that, but yeah, let's get back to the discussion and to some more questions. Geez, so you guys I can't even keep up with the chat anymore. I'm trying to not only be a host.
I should have reminded you to begin with that this one was going to be this way, and to put it to slow down. That's my bad, Kyle. I failed you.
All right. So we already got a question from Maria. Courtney says goodbye. I'm trying to get a different question in here from someone that we haven't answered this evening. Maria, by the way, another awesome question.
How about I got a Geek Chat 1 question.
Okay, let's do it.
Sandra Fernandez. More seriously speaking, could Jaime be Azor Ahai and Cersei be his Nissa Nissa? Could the fact that he killed the Mad King be considered the first attempt to forge Lightbringer and turn his back on Cersei, like stabbing her in the heart?
Gemma, me and you have discussed this. I'm gonna throw this to you first. Well, I go fill up this horn with a nice beverage. Look at Gemma sighing. Are you wearing a Game of Thrones shirt, Gemma?
I am. I'm wearing a King in the North shirt. It's probably one of my favorites. What is it that Marwyn says about prophecies? Here we go. I've got it. Gorgon of Old Geese once wrote, a prophecy is like a treacherous woman. She takes your member in her mouth, and you moan with the pleasure of it and think, how sweet, how fine, how good is this? And then her teeth snap shut and your moans turn to screams. That is the nature of prophecy, said Gorgon. Prophecy will bite your prick off every time. And that's how I feel about Azor Ahai.
That it's a prophecy that's going to bite your prick off.
Yes. I just don't think, I think this this subversion of tropes thing, it's kind of bandied around that phrase a lot. George R. R. Martin doesn't necessarily avoid tropes, but he certainly flips them on their head. He certainly plays with our... He
loves playing with all of them.
Yeah, like, he plays, he puts them all in, but then he plays with our expectations of them. And fantasy trope of the prophecy, the chosen one, it's a huge fantasy trope, and I just can't see the legend of Azor Ahai manifesting itself in such a literal way. I don't think Jaime is Azor Ahai. I don't think anyone is.
I don't think any one person is.
No.
I think it's going to be one of those things where it's going to take a village.
Sure, yeah.
You know, I don't think it's going to be any one person at this point. I think it's pretty much spelled out for us that you can put all those theories aside if you think it's one person, because it's not going to be.
We've said this before, haven't we, Kyle, that every character, well, not every character, but a lot of the main POV characters sort of potentially have their own kind of Azor Ahai kind of moments. And the question is what will they choose when they're presented with their moment? Some will choose to do the right thing. Some will not choose to do the right thing. But as far as some dude being handed a magical artifact and being the chosen one, this is not Lord of the Rings. This is not even Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is Game of Thrones.
Speaking of Lord of the Rings, me and Helen Spangler are we actually have had a call the past couple of days, and Helen is the person that I know that knows the most about Lord of the Rings. I've rewatched the trilogy twice over the past couple of weeks, and I haven't read the books, but I'm going to reread them. But me and Helen are going to do a first starting video on a comparative analysis on Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. Because Helen, we've noticed in GeekChat1 when I usually make my polls that like a Lord of the Rings comparison with Game of Thrones is like usually the number 2 vote. Like Jaime is up there, Arya, Sandor. Well, Lord of the Rings is always a popular, topic. So me and Helen are working on a script this weekend. We're going to record it, and then we're going to do a follow-up live stream to that video, kind of like we did with the God's Eye video. And we're going to do a whole series of Lord of the Rings comparative analysis style to Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, because there's a lot more, because, so many people are just saying, oh, he copied that and that. And we don't really think that. We think there's something else, like we will tell you about, but he was not satisfied about what he read and he wanted to create his own story. Obviously influenced by reading.
It didn't have enough reality for him. And that's why it's, and I'm not spoiling it. Shut up, JR. Okay.
You know what's insane is we're at 8:10 right now. We've been going for 2 hours, and we literally have enough topics to go forever. We've actually been discussing behind the scenes about doing some sort of super stream, like 5 or 6 hours. Yeah. Sometimes some sort of marathon stream. We're kind of organizing that. I don't really like. We have to discuss kind of the parameters of that over multiple channels or something like that. But
if not now, then when? And if not,
I have gin, I'm fine. It's 2 a.m., but I'm fine. I have this 3/4 bottle. Look what I did to this bottle.
Oh my God! You drank like 12 ounces of hard liquor.
Yeah, well. It's like a normal
All right,
Wednesday
we're wrapping it up with 10 more minutes, people. We're going to take a few more questions.
10 more minutes? I thought we were going to go for another hour.
Yeah, dude, we've already passed another 40 minutes.
I thought we were going to go for another hour. Gemma's already awake anyway.
I want a DJ stream. Where's my music? Where's my...
Okay, we'll go for another...
No, don't start that shit, Kyle.
Okay, we're going...
No singing.
Shut up.
We got another 20 minutes. And then that's
40.
JR, what the hell? Why do you keep on extending it, bro?
Final offer.
20. Waffle. Did you just say final waffle?
Yes, I did.
This is why you gotta go subscribe. This is why you gotta go subscribe to JR, because he's like literally trying to extend the stream for like 5 hours. All right, Q&A. Where do you all stand on Jaime pushing Bran from the window? We kind of spoke about this earlier, Shannon.
That was 3 hours ago.
There's gonna be another chair stream if we I'm gonna have to go make another drink. Doug says drink a glass of water, Helen. Maybe you could do a charity stream, Maria. You're not wrong. We've been discussing that as well. I don't want to kind of give details on that. Let's see what else we have in chat here. What's up with the capybara? Well. So
that's the announcement we need.
That's the announcement we need. We actually have another announcement. Sanrixian, who makes amazing art, and she also makes t-shirts. You know, the North Remembers t-shirt that I sometimes wear and Aziz sometimes wears. And she's often on Lucifer Means Lightbringer's channel. We've got to go find a capybara on Google here. Got to screen cap this shit.
The capybara.
Capybara. Does anybody know what a capybara is in chat?
No, I think I've been Mandela affected on
this. It's a water pig. It's a water
Gemma, I'm with you because I've got nothing.
All right, we're gonna screen cap this shit.
It's narwhals all over again.
Isn't it something that is actually a mix of different things? So it's not like one thing.
It's actually the world.
It's a water pig.
It's the world water pig. It's the world's largest rodent. But announcement for those of you who are patrons of the channel. And also, for those of you who are interested, because I know not everyone will be about this, there is a new Azora Hype mascot, and it's the capybara, which is widely respected amongst the animal community. I mean, look it. Dude.
Oh, look. Christian Neves is from Brazil. She says we have a lot here in Brazil. Oh,
yeah, the capybara.
The capybara hangs out in Brazil.
Yes, and capybaras are loved. Like, look it. Are you seeing this? There's turtles. This is the chosen animal of George R. R. Martin. I am certain of it. But anyways, Sanrixian, so I've been trying to think of ways I can give back to Patreon. We're gonna make a postcard for all $10 patrons and above are gonna get a capybara postcard. There's gonna be a haiku on the back, which I can't tell you about. But we're also gonna make a capybara T-shirt with a party hat, and it's gonna say hype, and it's gonna have a turtle on it, just like George R. R. Martin has. So capybara is the new Azora hype. A mascot for the channel. I love capybaras, and you know what? They're like Buddha-like animals. They're Zen-like. They're so lovely to other animals, and we're lovely to each other here in the hype and love community. I can't help but love the capybaras.
Some capybaras.
So anybody who is interested in that, we will have capybara T-shirts drawn by the amazing Sanrixian at some point soon, and we have postcards, special postcards that anybody that joins up for $10 and above on Patreon will get a special postcard in the mail.
Alicia
I'm
Kingston
serious.
is saying,
I seriously love capybaras. Like, why are you guys laughing about this? Wow, you guys are so rude. I actually love capybaras.
I don't even think it's a real animal at this point.
Kalahai says because they are too fat to move quickly.
What, are you kidding me?
No, I just don't think they're real at this point.
No, they don't attack anyone. That's the point.
We've been Mandela affected. This is not even a real thing. This is from your
exactly.
not mine.
They're like the Care Bears of mammals. Like,
exactly. We love the Care Bears.
They make perfect sense for Game of Thrones stuff, because that is like made up stuff, which this animal is not made up. This is not a made up animal. I'm sure I wonder if the fur is soft, because I used to own hamsters and I did have a white little mouse when I was a kid. I wonder if this is like a pet that you can pet.
No. It's not soft. It's like pigs.
I've never petted a pig, but okay.
Anyways, this is guys, this is gonna be a limited edition type thing. Awesome. It's for fun. It's meant to promote hype and love. I love I'm an animal lover. Gemma is a vegan. We all know this.
Wait.
Oh my god.
Is Gemma a vegan?
Vegan.
Gemma, can you please tell me more?
I have been a vegetarian for 38 years and a vegan for 4.
Interesting. Kyle, how does that make you feel?
I've just given away my age, by the way.
But seriously, there's going to be postcards for patrons. I want to do something really cool. I'm going to sign each one hand signed. I want to do something cool. Like you know how we're all so connected to the internet all the time? I want to do something that's like physically awesome that connects all of us, and I want to do something in the mail, like something fun like that that's a little bit different. So I've been thinking, like bookmarks or something like that, but everybody has their own. Not everybody necessarily uses bookmarks, but I think something that could connect us all, and I thought that would be, it's fun, a couple different animals, and Sanrixian is going to design the art. I'm really excited. Just a fun thing. And that's not the big announcement. We had our big announcements earlier. Let's get some real questions, though.
Are you sure about that? We could do another announcement. What is it?
No, we did our announcements. Okay, so Q&A. Chris Weinberger, Q&A. Most people assume that Jaime will confess to pushing Bran out the window, but Bran won't care. But wouldn't Arya and Sansa still want him executed? We kind of talked about this a little bit earlier. I don't necessarily think they're going to say execution. Sansa might. I don't know. It's going to be kind of tricky how they navigate this situation, because I think Bran's going to be the one to defend Jaime. Elamar?
I think at some. Oh, sorry.
No,
I think.
Go ahead, Gemma.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I think at some point somebody will have to step in, probably John, and motion a writ of the Night King and his Coronas are coming, so we need to kind of either wrap this up really quickly or just put it on the back burner until after we've dealt with these ice zombies from hell. So it might be a kind of we'll deal with that a bit you know, when Winterfell's not being attacked and stuff.
Yes.
It would be a great thing to for it to happen this way. I mean, like I said, I think we talked about it a little bit in the beginning. I don't want there to be like, oh, you're good, everything is good. I want there to be conflict. I want there to be some kind of tension. But they've done enough seasons, and they know how they failed. They know how they did good. I would like for them to actually do it the right way, so it feels natural. So it feels not like, oh, I don't like you. You pushed my blah 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 blah. No, like make it good, make it real, make it believable. You've been through a lot. You've done seasons. Make us love it, basically.
What's really interesting too, I don't want to, Alicia Kingston brought something up amazing in the chat. If you go look at the deleted scenes from last season, it makes you think that this might happen. So that Bran might defend Jaime. I'm not going to try to give away too much, but if you go and watch some of the feedback they do have behind the scenes and stuff that are involved in the episodes, the actual kind of commentary on the episodes, that's great stuff to go watch while you're waiting for Game of Thrones season 8. So I think that's part of the reason why, for show specific reasons, I think that this might happen. Jared's going to be back in a moment. Helen, I mean, I know we spoke about this earlier, but like, you know, execution, that seems a bit, look at Helen's face. She's like, oh, damn, a question for me. She's like, I'm trying to have fun. But seriously, do you think that Sansa or Arya will suggest as execution?
No, because I think in a normal time, yes, obviously, but there are way more important topics at the moment, like a dead army in front of their door. No, there's no time for that. And I think someone in the chat before said they literally need every single breathing human being at the moment, and Jaime, obviously, as a Kingsguard, he has tactics. He knows how to lead armies. They need him. They won't do that. Especially, I mean, Arya, I don't know, but especially Sansa should be reasonable and should be like, no.
Very interesting indeed. JR has gone to grab a beverage, I believe. LMR, any final thoughts on this before we move to a new question?
No. Again, I want chaos. I want I want tension.
Chaos
and
is a ladder.
Well, kind of, yeah. I want everything. Chaos, tension, and something good that comes out of it. Yeah. But no execution. I mean, come on. Just let's not kill.
It would be really counterproductive, wouldn't it? There's no need, you know, when they like Helen said, they need all hands on deck right now, especially somebody like Jaime who has those skills Helen laid out.
Yep.
Maria, you are on fire in chat. I keep on noticing you. Jaime will have stories and anecdotes about Rhaegar. That is really interesting because, Gemma, me and you have talked about this quite a bit. Rhaegar, Jaime regrets that he wasn't able to protect Rhaegar's children. However,
it was their last conversation, wasn't it?
Last conversation, because Rhaegar wanted to call a council because he knew his father was unfit to continue to rule in King's Landing and over Westeros. So Jon being revealed on who he is, this could certainly open some doors for Jaime to intercede and say, oh my goodness. That would certainly be a clusterfuck. What do you think about this, Gemma?
The last thing Jaime said to Rhaegar, well, the last thing that Rhaegar said to Jaime before Rhaegar then went off to die was he made, in the same way Lyanna made Ned make a promise, Rhaegar made Jaime promise that he would protect his children, Elia Martell's children, Aegon and Rhaenyra, and they both, well, according to canon, they according to the canon of Westeros, they both died. There's the Fagon issue, which we won't get into. So that would be a nice turnaround. I do think there would be a part of Jaime. Jaime does lament that he wasn't able to fulfill the promise that he made Rhaegar. He highly regarded Rhaegar. Rhaegar literally haunts his dreams. So
that's literally his only regret. Jaime Lannister's only regret is not being able to protect the family that he was meant to.
Yeah, the promise that he made to his prince.
To Rhaegar.
Yeah.
The prince that was
promised.
So if he finds out Jon is Rhaegar's son, by protecting Jon, he will be able to redeem himself by protecting Rhaegar's children, which was the promise he made.
Plus, it's a very similar situation, like Barristan Selmy telling Dany a lot about her family, about her father, about like he is literally one of the only persons who can tell Jon about his heritage. Because even Dany was a baby; she wasn't even born then. So he's one of the only persons, Barristan Selmy in the show at least, is no longer alive. So it's also interesting. I mean, Bran can look back, but it's different. So he can tell him about his family and his heritage.
It's so interesting that you bring that up. That is a great point, because I think that I go back to the conversation between Jon and Jaime, where Jaime is shaking Jon's hand and he's like, "Oh, you want to protect the realms of men? Do you even know what that really means?" And then Benjen talks to Jon about the sacrifices he will have to make. Like, do you really know what it's going to cost you? And Jon has still made all of these decisions forthright throughout his arc for the best of the realms of men. And that kind of goes back to what Jaime did with the Mad King. He saved almost 1 million people in King's Landing or more from the Mad King igniting the wildfire. So they are really connected, and it's so interesting that it all
Which they give Jon that piece of dialogue. How many people live here? Because Jon's from the north. He's never seen anything like a capital and that condensed of dwellings and that many people in one place. How many people live here? Because it's all going to be fodder for the army of the dead if we don't do something. And it became a great point during the show for exactly what his thoughts were.
Donna Daly, who just became a new patron of the channel, says, so will he end up in the Night's Watch? There's a great theory that if Jaime does survive, that he would be a great 1000th commander of the Night's Watch, certainly taking a vow to defend the realms of men. I like that sentiment. I just don't think he's going to survive.
I love it. I think it's a great juxtaposition for him, but I don't think it's going to happen. I love it. I want it to be, but it's not going to happen.
The symbolism of trading in the white cloak for the black.
Right. Exactly. And being the 1000th Lord Commander, and him and Jon's handshake, and Starks and Grumpkins, and all of it. It's amazing.
And Jaime taking the Kingsguard's vow, but still being able to sleep with his sister, and the Night's Watch vow. Sam talked about how it's kind of archaic, and they should still be able to have sex and stuff like that. But people still go to
But Sam's not wrong.
Right.
Shall not father children.
Well, he's basically interpreting it as a lawyer. Like, he just uses his brains to say, okay, this is what it says. It doesn't say the other thing. It says that, but not this. But about the hand thing, I mean, wasn't that the hand that was cut off? So even though we may get that, it's been cut off, and that, this hand disappearing kind of cuts everything off. So it gives him a new life, new path in a way. So he's free.
And that symbolism is powerful because he was defined his entire life by that hand.
Yeah.
From youth, from very young age.
Yeah.
And killing the Mad King. And
his confidence, yes.
He was that hand. I mean, everything he was and embodied was that hand. And to have it taken away is such a beautiful symbolism of the transcendence that one can have once you separate yourself from the things that you need. Or not the things that you need, perhaps. But anyway.
You think you need, maybe. Not that you want, but there's a difference between wanting and needing.
Yeah,
correct.
In a kind of way, it's liberating to him, It's, yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have a choice. He has to adapt, right? And he did. I do have a kind of a follow-up question, though, too. We were talking about it couple phrases ago when we're talking about Jaime and him being an heir and whatnot. I keep hearing that, there is this thing about Jon, him being Targaryen, and Dany, and them fighting, what if he finds out? What if she finds out? What are they going to do? But what about if that whole crazy, and Gemma, you can go like this. what if Jaime is that, secret Targ? Unless, yeah, what happens then? I mean, what about, if it turns, not that there would be anything because there are no clues to that, so I don't see that happening, but there could be a fight for that too. Like, if he is a Targaryen, isn't he the first one for the throne? Another twist to it. I don't see that happening, but I don't know. What do you think about that?
I love how Gemma's stroking her cat like Dr. Evil right now.
Right? Oh gosh, I hope it wasn't because of my question. Like, oh, that's
$1 billion.
Because 1 million is under us now, so it's 1 billion.
And Helen has. We have another donation. I can't forget. Nope, we got all of them. Marvin, did we get all of yours? Okay, we got all the donations. I thought we missed one. I feel so guilty when I miss one. So,
Amy Collins is in the chat now, though. She was worried that she was late. You are not late. We're going for another hour because we're not. Mr. Azora Hype said so himself.
We're gonna do some more shout outs. We're gonna do Marvin Martin. We got Amy Collins Russell, who we got to chill with in Houston, Texas on Blaze Manga's birthday, which was amazing. With Mandolin.
Mandolin, no, she's in Miami right now. She's partying down, having fun.
Game of Theories with Marie. Thank you for joining. Daisy Kowalczykowski. Gemma butchered your name. I won't. Thank you. Betha of House Blackwood. We have Hot and Fear. Phil H. We have Cartaz. We have many other people, and we still have 170 people here. Basically, we've only dropped 20 people. Like, that's insane. Like,
that's just Europeans going to bed.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gemma looks pretty tired right now. We got another 2 questions before we hang. Helen,
can we address LMR's question?
Yes, let's do that.
If that is the case, let's just kind of suspend our disbelief for a second. Then technically, because there is nothing written that says it has to be the male. It's been contested over the last 300 years of Targaryen line repeatedly, and the male has been favored every time. But the fact it is continually contested, as we've seen in Fire and Blood, would suggest that technically Cersei is then therefore not the rightful queen, because Robert Baratheon won the Iron Throne by right of conquest, and that is totally a thing. I'm still #Stannis is the one rightful true king. He's obviously still alive in the books, but yet if we're going to go down that route, then, and I think so you could kind of say that the show having Cersei on the throne is kind of where it should have always ended up.
Chat.
Maybe.
I think we have to do a unanimous clap for Morley.
Can we do air claps? We do that at school so the kids don't make loads of noise.
Air claps?
Yeah. No, you don't make any noise. It's like you're squishing a marshmallow. When I was a teacher,
golf clap.
I got the children to do that so they didn't make loads of noise.
Chat, air claps, and also panel. Morley. All right, 1, 2, 3, air claps. Let's do it. That looks really weird.
It was painfully quiet. I felt like my ears are not working. Like,
I know. I don't know what to do. Like, all I had was ringing.
Too much booze.
Oh, live long and prosper. I love Spock. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. So, Morley, we love you. She is her and Karen Richmond have been the #1 Patreon supporters on the channel for such a long time. It's disgustingly amazing what they do for this community, not just this channel, but the whole community.
Yeah.
No, and it is the whole community too. That they love A Song of Ice and Fire and everything it means and it stands for, and they love talking about it.
I believe Moro is coming to Con of Thrones, if I'm not mistaken. Karen, you're coming too. Like, Con of Thrones is going to be so lit this year. Oh my god.
Con of Thrones is.
I am so hype. I'm melting like the 6 feet of snow outside right now. You guys don't even understand.
I actually believe that.
All right. Morley, do you have a question concerning Jaime? You just put
concerning Jaime.
Yeah, you just said hype and love to you all. So I don't know if there's a question for Jaime, or if you want to pick out a question from the chat, we will certainly discuss it. We got 8 more minutes left, everyone. Get them in. We're going to the lightning round. We're gonna do 1-sentence answers for all the questions that come up. We're gonna try to
I love these.
We always do this towards the ends of streams.
Oh, lightning round? Okay.
We're doing lightning round again, where we try to answer as many questions that come in from the chat. Helen, you're like this close to your camera. I love you so much. I just don't know what's going on. Anyways, Helen's like zoomed into her camera. How much is that in Canadian? It's like $1,000 at least, Daniel.
It's always $1,000. You always say it's $1,000.
The US dollar and the Canadian dollar, we lose about 25 cents on every dollar. So,
but it's beautiful money. It's beautiful and colorful. I don't know, like I'm in love with that money, how it looks. So,
Jaime,
and you might be crazy as a
fox
if you spend it all in one place.
Hot on fear.
Come on, Loon. Nobody put up Loon.
Lucy says significance of Jaime versus sword. I'm kind of confused on that one, Lucy. So if you can clarify, does anybody?
Valyrian steel sword. Significance of Jaime's.
Oh.
Good Lord, you need to ask the foreigner for this.
Oh my God, you're so
actually, I think we're all foreigners to each other by comparison. I'm pretty sure. Wait, let me look. Yeah, no, we're all foreigners.
True.
Okay, so Jaime Lannister, is he going to give away a Valyrian steel blade or hold one in Game of Thrones season 8? Gemma, true.
Hold one.
Hold one. Okay, Elamar.
He will hold it and he will use it.
Woo-hoo! I like that. That's spicy. JR.
Hold and use. I'm with Elamar.
Helen.
What are we answering?
Oh my God, you're excommunicated.
This is a lightning round. Come on, Helen, get with the program.
I'll tell you what.
What is a lightning round? Explain. Like
we have to be fast.
I'll tell you what. I think that Jaime is gonna help evacuate Winterfell, and Widow's Wail is gonna go to someone else. I think Sandor gets Heartsbane, but he certainly could get a Valyrian steel. Oh my God! Did we get another donation? $50 from Maura Lee. She said, "Drink
for you to drink."
We need to all have a drink on the panel right now. Everybody, raise a glass to Maura Lee, and you guys, everybody else that's donated. The donations, I think that's like donation like 30 or some shit. You guys are crazy.
Can we check out my glass? My glass is like the Iron Throne. Like it's from my grandfather. It's like
she's like, yo, check out all my blank first.
No. And look, it has spikes. It's like really, really sharp. Like the edges here, it has little spikes. It's like the Iron Throne of glasses.
Perfect.
I don't mind. I still drink.
Do you have a Triforce ring on?
A what?
A Triforce ring on.
I don't know what that is.
This chat is devolving. We have another donation. Maura Lee, I love you. Nan304-1111. I love 1111. It would be awesome if Jaime's severed hand comes to life. There's a theory that Melisandre, Jaime's gonna the joy will turn to ashes in your mouth. Jaime will reconstitute his hand into fire. I don't believe it, but
there's also a theory that he's going to get a Valyrian steel hand attachment and just go around touching all the whites and the white.
I saw that one. It could already be.
Oh my
he
God.
could be the Chuck Norris of Westeros.
Just punching them all with his Valyrian steel.
You die and you die.
He's gonna be the Chuck Norris of Westeros. It's gonna be great. He's gonna be like.
I can't believe we're still here after 2.5 hours.
Oh my God!
I'm going to make another drink while JR takes over.
Why is JR taking over? That's a very bad idea.
We need more questions for this lightning round. There's been loads of questions in the chat as well. Scroll up a bit, JR, and read some out. And we have to be fast, Helen. Quick, one sentence.
Okay, so lightning round questions. Okay, I got this. Hang on. I don't know why that makes it look official, but when you do this, it's official.
Scary.
This is not lightning.
Scary.
Come on.
It's like a paper.
I know. Chronologically speaking, at what time did Jaime was playing Prince Charming in Shrek before going to the King's Guard, before or after, because it's no denying it. He is of the King's Guard.
I think that probably occurred when Cersei went back to Casterly Rock for a brief period of time, and he was pining for his lost love. That's the only place I can fit that in.
I don't even know what to do with that question. Honestly, I'm like, wait, what? Could Jaime have saved Joffrey if he didn't turn his back on it to rescue Brienne?
You guys are. I'm mixing a drink.
No.
Nobody's answering. Fantastic.
This is lightning round.
This
is lightning round.
I said no.
Lightning round, like
no, because Olenna is the queen of this series, so she would have gone through with her plot anyway, Jaime or not.
It was a secret. Nobody would know. Nobody knew about it, so there's nothing he could have done like to prevent it.
And there was a serpent in a hair. Clearly, I mean, nobody knows what's going on with the serpent in the hair. Okay.
Chat, you are insane right now. We have another donation.
How did Jaime and Cersei fall in love? I mean, incest is looked down upon, even by the Lannisters. So they knew that what they were doing was wrong. Who has thoughts?
Marika made a donation. She says everyone here is awesome. You're awesome, Marika.
Because they're Targaryens, and it's okay for Targaryens.
Thank you, Helen.
It's in their blood. They can't help it. It's in their genes.
Wow.
The backstory goes that they started playing games as very young children, and those games progressed, let's say.
So we're going to go with it was Westeros Doctor, which is King of the Castle, which is a very sexist game to play in Westeros.
Oh my God.
What? It's a sexist game to play in Westeros. What?
We're taking one more question and then we're doing our outro. Let's see what else
are we?
Yeah. Let's see. There's one more question that's got to come from chat. We got one more question here. We're going to start with Ella. And we're going to start with LMR Q&A. Will Jaime tell Dany why he killed her dad? That's from Jacqueline Ziegler.
Ooh. I think he will. I don't know if she'll care about it, but he may actually say it not to get forgiveness, but to get understanding.
I think that's fair. Helen, who's wearing a onesie apparently.
I'm wearing pants.
No, I'm wearing pants. What? Did she really just do that?
Yeah, I can put my thingy behind my head.
I'm a yoga teacher.
Yoga class?
Yeah, I'm a yoga teacher, so
wow.
I drink and I do stuff.
I drink and
what was the question?
Well, I think that might be an understatement at this point.
Oh my God, I gotta go back and get the question.
I was answering Lord of the Ring questions in the chat. Sorry, what was the question?
Are you serious?
We are really not getting the hang of this lightning round thing, are we, Helen?
No. I'm a foreigner. I play the foreigner card.
So the question is that Jaime and Dany, is Jaime gonna tell Dany why he killed her dad?
Yeah. She's interested in her family history.
What?
This is the lightning round.
Yes.
Thank you, JR.
Absolutely.
Gemma?
Yes, but possibly off screen, and then it will be implied that they've had a very lengthy discussion. Because we don't have time for that shit.
No, it's going to be implied.
No, like, she said 2 sentences. How am I just
We are wrapping this shit up right now. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you for all your generosity in the live chat. So many donations, so many amazing questions, so many GeekChat1 Patreon, Facebook, everyone from the live chat, thank you so much for joining us. I had an amazing panel here this evening. First, I would like to thank Elamar for being a first-time guest here on the channel. Elamar, can you tell us a little bit about your channel and kind of what's happening next with you?
So my channel is kind of sitting dormant right now. I usually do different streams. I love streaming. I love interviewing. So my schedule has been crazy with work and family, so I haven't been able to interview the people I wanted. But as soon as I get some time, I will be doing that again. Other than that, I'm in chat supporting people and talking about chaos and all the lovely violence that I love. So I'll be there supporting people and having fun over there. Again, thank you so much for having me. It's a lot of fun. Friday, I needed that. It's been a very long year thus far, so this is very much appreciated.
Tell me about it. Like 2019. Finally got some good news today. But
did you guys see the meme I posted? Like
Helen,
on the first,
Helen,
on the 1st of January 2000.
Helen, I'm going to mute you for a second. Let me finish.
I saw it, Helen. It was hilarious. I know what you're talking about.
Go
2020, my year.
Go subscribe to Living My Rhapsody's channel. Her link is in the description of this video. Understood? You see how serious I am? Don't fuck with me.
Very serious.
We are going to Helen, who's the clueless fangirl. Yeah, her link is in the description of this video. Look, oh my God. You're getting talking to later. Fuck.
But honestly, I've been drinking since like 5 hours. I didn't remember when the stream was on, so I got prepared.
You got wasted, you mean?
Like a normal Wednesday for me. No, thank you for having me again. As people know, I'm not a big book person, not Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire books, but I love to be on your drinking streams, talking shit, saying fuck. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Wow, we're already like, how many times do you have to get demonetized?
Yeah,
apparently
and
just
JR
one more.
And JR and I will get the Star Wars thingy getting going on Geek Chat again. I was just a bit busy, but we'll be back. What's the name, JR? Jedi Master Raleigh.
We're working on Raris. We're trying to figure out schedules for Raris to come on and talk with us about everything in the Star Wars universe, and hopefully have a lightsaber so I can strike you down. And wow,
nobody gonna strike me down.
Wow. JR, what's happening next to GeekChat1 for you?
I think we might hold this over just for a minute and go live on GeekChat1 because why not?
Have you created a live stream link yet? You might want to do that. Chat.
Yeah, I'm working on that right now.
So chat, we're gonna prolong this for 2 minutes while JR figures out how to do this. I'm assuming he knows how.
Shh.
So okay, there's got apparently any delinquents that want to go over to JR.
Delinquents? Well, how dare you speak of my people in such manner?
Gemma?
I'm working on something very exciting behind the scenes. Don't really want to get into it right now. You guys know, and my Patreons know as well. But watch this space, basically. All the same stuff. Hit 80K today, which is just spectacular. Really, like I said, humbled and overwhelmed by such an amazing number. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for a wonderful panel and everybody in the chat and all the donations. You are all awesome. I love this community.
So everyone in chat that's still here, you can go in the link in the description of this video. Like I said, Elamar, another amazing content creator. Go check out her channel, JR GeekChat1. We have the clueless fangirl who is truly clueless, who never listens to what I say. And we have Gemma Stark. We have Gemma Stark as well. Obviously, you know, Secrets of the Citadel, my longtime co-host and bestie, YouTube bestie. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. Of course, we're going to have more videos. As you know, I made a little bit of announcement earlier why there hasn't been as many videos on the channel. Death in my family. A close friend of mine passed away. Fuck cancer. Hashtag that in the chat. But I'm back. I feel good. It's taken some time. I need some time to grieve everyone. Sometimes that happens. But I am so happy that all of you came tonight. Really, really excited for all of the news, especially the Jaime Lannister is coming to Con of Thrones. You can go check that out. If you haven't got your Con of Thrones tickets, code AZOR, A-Z-O-R, for $5 off. And yeah, thanks everyone for joining us in the live chat. See you all in the next video on Wednesday on Gemma's channel. Make sure you join GeekChat1 for the next poll to help us decide what we're going to talk about. Type and love.
Bye.